Welcome, everyone, to Southern Virginia University football from the fields at Southern Virginia University. I'm Jim Bresnahan, joined today by Art Furler, getting ready to bring you the home opener and the New Jersey Athletic Conference opener for the Southern Virginia University Knights in football as they get ready to take on Frostburg State. Art, in just a matter of minutes.
Yeah, it should be a fun one today. I know it's one that lots of Knight fans have been waiting for a while. Last season, of course, we had to wait a long time to have a home game. This year we get one a little earlier, just the third week of the season, but it's been circled on a lot of people's calendars for a long time. Delane Fitzgerald, the last football coach of Southern Virginia, now at Frostburg State, making his first trip, at least to play a game back here to Buena Vista.
Jason Walker, of course, head coach of the Knights, is in his second season, and as you mentioned, Delane Fitzgerald in his second season at Frostburg. Both these teams come in after a very tough loss. The Knights, of course, had last week off, but in the opener 2 weeks ago, they lost at Rhodes 65-10. Frostburg won its opener, but then ran into a buzzsaw against Wesley, losing that game last Saturday 44-3.
Yeah, Wesley, if I recall, is number 4 in the nation in D3. They're a heck of a team. Frostburg had some good plays. I talked to Coach Fitzgerald just before this game, caught up a little bit, and he said, we had them for 14 minutes of that game. We played 14 minutes, we outplayed them, but the other 46, not so much. And the Knights obviously struggled heavily against Rhodes, kind of a late scheduled opponent for them. Tough to make adjustments there quickly.
In fact, those losses kind of similar, Art. As you mentioned, Frostburg had a pretty decent opening against Wesley, but then things got out of control in a hurry. At Rhodes a couple of weeks ago, Southern Virginia only trailed at the end of one quarter 14-0, but then again the floodgates opened in the second period. They gave up 30 points in the second quarter, ended up trailing at halftime 44-0. Never really got too much offense and ended up losing that game 2 weeks ago 65-10.
Yeah, very, very difficult outing for the Knights. I think they had 14 offensive yards in the first half. They gave up a safety. It was very, very tough for them. But Rhodes is a very good program as well. Nothing to be ashamed at there. They certainly didn't lose to a slouch. And looks like we're going to cut away to the national anthem here. They're saying the opening prayer here now. So we'll break away here for just a second for the national anthem and come back right after that.
Anderson and Kaylee Simmons.
Where are they? Are they in the box? All right.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back to the fields at Southern Virginia University. Again, Jim Bresnahan and Art Furler ready to bring you all the football action today for the Southern Virginia University Knights, getting ready to take on the Frostburg State Bobcats. And Art, you couldn't really ask for better weather today, too.
Oh, beautiful setting here. Again, I was talking with Coach Fitzgerald before the game started, and he said, I miss this place. It's beautiful out here, and I'm sure it's a nice place up at Frostburg as well. Haven't been there myself, but he just mentioned he was struck by how beautiful it is out here. the weather, the environment, everything's just great.
Not just Delane Fitzgerald with the homecoming today, a couple of Frostburg assistants who also were Southern Virginia University football players and grads like Tyler Condiff and, of course, Ty Hyatt.
Yeah, nice to see several guys back here, both Southern Virginia alums as well as former coaches. A little bit of a homecoming. That being said, I don't know that we particularly wish them well in this particular situation. But,
well, going into this season, everybody knew it, with all the graduation losses, the loss of experience from last year's ball club, and the fact that Southern Virginia University probably here in 2015 are looking at maybe the toughest schedule in the young football history of this university. It could be a very tough situation for the Knights early on.
Oh, yeah. We're a young team. Frostburg is young as well, but they've got a little bit more of a established program. They're a little bit more cohesive, I think, at this point than the Knights are. It'll be interesting to see how much the Knights can put it together and operate as a unit. I think that's going to be the key to pulling off a win here.
And again, New Jersey Athletic Conference was a rough conference to really deal with in 2014. You add teams like Wesley and CNU, and it just gets tougher.
Absolutely. Top to bottom, the league is a very, very difficult one here. Looks like the Knights getting ready to receive the Frostburg State kickoff.
And Frostburg State getting ready to kick off to get this home opener underway for the Knights here, this 2015 home opener. And the return of Delane Fitzgerald, former head coach of the Knights. Frostburg State with one win on the season. Knights just their second game of the season. Very short kickoff.
Oh,
and
ball's loose.
The Knights immediately fumble the kickoff around the 36-yard line, and it looks like Frostburg, right off the bat, Art gets a turnover.
Yeah, we'll see how it comes up. It did look like it was going to be Frostburg's ball.
Nope, they're going to say
not.
Southern Virginia's. Boy, the Knights really dodged
No,
the bullet
no.
there. Now they switch it, and they do say Frostburg.
Oh, goodness. That a short kickoff fielded well at the 25, a really great opportunity to return it, but you have to hang on to the football. That now gives just 37 yards for Frostburg to goal.
Referee smiling. Think he just obviously kind of blew it, signaled the wrong way. Frostburg has it first and 10, 37-yard line of the Knights.
I made a mistake once, too. It was a terrible day.
Connor Cox steps in at quarterback, I formation for the Bobcats. And again, these guys met Wesley last week, number 4 in the country, ended up losing that game 44-3. First carry of the game, short gain over the right side for Frostburg.
Yeah.
Going to be about a 3-yard pickup.
Great job by the Knights, though. That's exactly what I was talking about, is working as a unit. You saw the penetration on the backside from the outside linebacker of the Knights. Everyone keeping their assignments down the middle, containing, and keeping that to a short gain.
Jordan Brown picking up about 3. Now Cox, the quarterback, will go shotgun. 2nd and 7 coming up here. Cox, no one there to play action to. A little bit of confusion in the backfield. Cox with a good move to go up the field.
Fumble.
He lost it.
And the Knights have it.
recover. 24-yard line. That was a busted play, Art. It looked like Cox wanted to hand the football off to the running back. He wanted to hand it off to his right side, I think, and the running back went way left.
Yeah, it was unclear whether it was intentionally play action, I'm not sure. We're going to get a replay on this one, though, and see how it ended up. Yeah, cuts across the middle.
And Cox did a good job, if it was a busted play, to kind of make up for it, but he just didn't hold on to the ball with 2 hands.
Yeah, Scott Laxton came in and delivered the hit on that, and Christopher Owens coming up with it. Beautiful, beautiful play by the Knights to make up for that first fumble they had on the kickoff.
So just less than a minute into this game, and each team has a turnover now, as Sean Honeycutt will get the start here for the Knights at quarterback.
Starting from the 24-yard line, which would have been a reasonable thing to start with had they gotten it off the kickoff, and a flag.
See if this is a legal procedure or maybe delay a game, or exactly what the call is here. Delay a game against the Knights. So they recover the fumble but don't get the playoff in time.
Not the kind of thing you want to start with. Both teams a little sloppy so far. Not just the fumble each way, but as you mentioned, kind of the broken play that led to it for Frostburg, and then the delay of game immediately to follow. It's tough when you're that excited after getting that turnover, but you gotta keep it in control.
So it's 1st and 15, and the ball now back at the 18-yard line. It's going to be Honeycutt taking it on a quarterback keeper, and he gets pretty good yardage across the 25-yard line up to around the 26 or 27.
Yeah, it'll make up for that 5-yard penalty plus a little bit.
See Michael Carroll in there, and I don't think he caught a pass a couple of weeks ago at Rhodes. Of course, that initial game of the season was supposed to be a home game. They switched to a road game, and as a result, Art, the Knights only have 4 home games here in 2015.
Yeah, and there was a lot of shuffling around with that initial opponent, some issues there, so picking up Rhodes late was very difficult for the Knights.
Here's a handoff. Nope, it's going to be Honeycutt keeping it, throwing it, has his receiver, makes the catch just shy of the first down marker.
It's Trevor Miller out there. He's a big target. He's got some soft hands, actually converted from playing running back for the Knights previously, and I'll tell you, he's an intimidating man. If he gets that ball, I would not want to be in front of him.
He's actually listed as their backup fullback.
Here's that pass catch one more time. See the soft hands tucking it away and extending just a little bit, gaining a little extra on that.
Trevor is 6'1", 240. So it's third down, a yard to go. Be nice to see the Knights pick this one up. They go ground game to Watts. Right side has the first down up at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, I've been very impressed so far with the Knights' ability to move the football. The play action pass, the run out of the backfield, multiple targets. This has been a very productive first set of downs for Southern Virginia.
And you got to figure, Jason Walker, the head coach of the Knights, not only wants to put points on the board, only had 10 against Rhodes 2 weeks ago, but he would love to really control the clock, keep that Frostburg offense off the field.
Well, and also get in rhythm. The more you can just keep moving the chains, the more momentum you feel, the more positivity your team starts feeling like they can win this ball game.
39-yard line, 1st and 10, Knights with their first down of the game. Honeycutt, long count, movement on the right side. Yeah, it looks like Miller, the tight end, is going to pick up that flag.
Yeah, jumping on both sides, but it will be the false start called on the Knights.
Back to the 34 on the illegal procedure call. So now it's 1st and 15. Knights began this series with a penalty, a delay of game penalty. Now they pick up another 5-yarder.
Yeah, and that's a difficult thing because those will start to add up and start to be more difficult to overcome. So you want to take every advantage that you can. So 1st and 10 is hard enough as it is without making it 1st and 15.
And now the ball again back to the 34-yard line. 1st and 15 for the Knights. Honeycutt rolls, takes it himself, gets dragged down from behind, picks up a couple, gets across the 35 up to around the 38, maybe a gain of 4 or so.
Yeah, it looks like that time it was just a big mitt swinging out of the line from Frostburg State. That's Niles Scott who got a hand on him and was able to slow him down enough until help could come.
Honeycutt had some playing experience last year. He's 6'1", 190, sophomore. Other quarterback that's been getting some reps here in the opening weeks of the season is Crosby Jensen, a junior.
Yeah, Honeycutt, as you mentioned, limited reps last year, but definitely showed some signs of brilliance there when he had opportunities.
2nd down at 12 for the Knights, 38-yard line. Play action.
Ooh.
Blitz is on. Passes a wounded duck. Knocked around and incomplete, and the Knights were lucky that one wasn't picked off as Frostburg came with a big blitz and hit the quarterback just as he was throwing.
Yeah, square in the back. He took a shot on that one. There you can see Honeycutt trying to put the pieces back together. Good to see that he snapped up that quickly, though. A hit like that could definitely cause you to stay down for a while, but it looks like he's all right.
So it's 3rd down at 11 to go. We'll see that play again.
That and just crushed in the back.
And a lot of players battling for that ball afterwards, hoping to maybe get an interception, Frostburg was. 3rd and 11, 38-yard line. Knights have to get to the 49 to get a 1st down. 3 receivers split left. Honeycutt to throw. He's got time this time. Wings it over the middle, and he threw it behind his intended receiver.
Yeah, that's Jacob Bird shooting for him. As you mentioned, just a hair behind him. If he could scoot out just a little bit more, hit him in stride, there was an opportunity to get up a couple of yards after the catch and pick up that 1st down. But as it is, not going to happen.
So 4th down coming up, and the Knights will go ahead and punt the football away. The Knights were able to pick up 1 1st down. on that drive, and then we're backed up on a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, 4th and 11 now, not the 1st and 10. It says there on your screen. Long snap, recovered well by the punter.
Lorenzen kicks it on a line to the return man at the 30-yard line. Good return coming up here for Frostburg. 40-yard line up to the 42-yard line goes Bonzel. And so Frostburg has pretty good field position as the Bobcats have it for the second time in this first quarter.
Yeah, that is good field position, but all things considered, that's a pretty good result for the Knights. That high snap recovered well by the punter, still able to get a decent kickoff. All things considered, would have been nice to take him out, of course, with the first man down the field. They did allow a few yards after the catch there for the return, but all in all, not bad.
Connor Cox, the quarterback, turns, hands it off to Jordan Brown. Short gain, maybe a yard or two, straight up the middle.
Yeah, once again, great job by the Knights. Everybody holding their responsibility. Looks like that's Joel Bergman in on the tackle there. Everyone just hanging on to their responsibilities, making sure there are no openings for big yardage.
Clay Rowe also in on the tackle. Gain of just 2. Second down, 8 here for the Bobcats at their own 45-yard line. Wildcat formation. Hand off to Bonzal. Left side. First down and more. Knocked out of bounds on the far side near the 40-yard line of Southern Virginia. Owens making the tackle, but not until the ball carrier was able to pick up almost 15 yards.
Yeah, definitely gaining some ground on that one, on that jet sweep. But still, they could have broken all the way. The Knights still keeping their pursuit angles, still finding opportunities right there. You can see as you look to the right side, you've got 7, 31, 32, all making sure their pursuit angles are tight. So if he breaks the first tackle, he doesn't have green pastures in front of him.
Ball at the 40. Cox to throw. Open receiver, 35-yard line, 30-yard line. Inside the 30, near the 29 of Southern Virginia goes the receiver, Antonio Wood. Another first down here for the Bobcats here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're starting to move the sticks a little too quickly, catching the Knights defense on their heels just a little bit. Look like the last couple plays are almost going tempo a little bit, now slowing things down.
High formation this time with a quarterback under center from the 29-yard line. Jordan Brown, the tailback.
Oh, fumbled.
Cox lost it and able to dive on his own fumble at the line of scrimmage. So it's second down and 10 coming up. No gain on the play, and Frostburg lucky to get that one back.
Yeah, you'd think it's a rainy day for as many mishandles of the ball there have been so far. Very uncharacteristic, but losing the ball right there at the line of scrimmage. Like I said, it's hard enough at 1st and 10. 1st and 15 isn't great. 2nd and 10's not great either, though. These mental mistakes hurting both teams so far.
Knights showing blitz. Cox to throw. Here comes the blitz. Rowe coming up the middle. Cox waves his receiver. Now tries to run with it to the sidelines and steps out of bounds near the 20.
Yeah, just turned on the speed that time, and the pursuit was all from the backside. The Knights fearing the pass, really staying spread out on the receivers, which gave him a little bit of room to run.
And you'll see Rowe coming up the middle here, forcing the quarterback out.
And just happy to take the yardage he could.
That was Blackham pushing the quarterback out of bounds near the 19-yard line. So 1st and 10, Frostburg, 19 of the Knights.
Still moving the ball pretty well despite some of those mistakes.
Brown, the tailback, gets it up the middle, and he is hit by a couple of defenders around the 13 for a gain of 6. A couple of Knights in their defensively yard, including Watterson.
Yeah, able to slow them down, but still, if they keep gaining several yards like that per play, they will find the end zone eventually. The Knights either need to create a turnover or really dig in their heels and come up with a stop soon.
Could really use a negative yardage situation here. Maybe somebody getting into the backfield. Second down 4, 13-yard line. Let's see if they throw or run here. Brown's the tailback. Cox, the quarterback, is under center. Hands it off to Jordan Brown. Brown up the middle. He's to the 5.
Breaks into the secondary.
And he is close to the 4-yard line before he's finally pushed back.
Yeah, so far the Knights perhaps not recognizing when they've come into I formation. Frostburg's run it, I believe, every time out of the I so far.
And you see Raheem Ramsey right there, number 36, 230-pound fullback. Nice blocking lead back for you.
Yes, that is true. Kind of your Jerome Bettis style back.
So it is 1st and goal, Frostburg, 4-yard line. Let's see if they go to Brown again. Cox gives to Jordan Brown up the middle. And he is stymied around the 2. Great defensive effort by the Knights as a team to really push him back and hold him out of the end zone.
Yeah, the Knights saw that formation again, this time reading it well, realizing the I formation generally is going to be a run up the middle. That time, not identifying it's one thing, being able to stop it's another, but the Knights able to do both in this particular situation.
Be interesting here, Art, to see if they really treat this as 4-down territory and just keep going up the middle, or maybe try to throw here. About 3 yards away.
Yeah, that's the danger of seeing that eye and assuming it's going to be the run is you do that enough, you do a play action pass in there and a man's wide open.
And they'll run it again to Jordan Brown, and he's hit at the 5-yard line and knocked down for a 2-yard loss. That was a big play once again by Joshua Davis, freshman linebacker. He came in, got some help as well from Dalen Breen, a couple of linebackers making a big play, and the Knights have made a huge play.
Yeah, making a hard stop. The Knights really, as I said, digging in their heels. They're doing exactly that. They are really, really defending this end zone. They've given up some yards along the way, but now deciding they've had enough, wanting to put a stop to it right now.
So now it's 3rd and goal at the 5. Could be maybe no longer 4-down territory, depending on what happens here on 3rd down. We'll see if the Bobcats throw on 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Cox has Brown, the tailback. Fakes it to him, throws to the right, man wide open.
Yep.
He bobbled the ball in, incomplete. Intended receiver Sam Walker, wide open, almost too wide open, Art.
Yeah.
Reaching back for the ball, dropped it.
Yeah, he is a fullback, maybe not used to catching the ball that much. In that scenario, he was actually lined up as a tight end. You can see him right here on the right-hand side of the line. I was thinking it was going to go to him.
They cleared it out for him, and he just missed it.
Oh, it was a very softly thrown ball. You could see it was slow to get there.
Tried to catch it with his hands instead of letting it come to his body.
Yep, and they are going to go for the field goal.
And now the Knights come across, no flag. This will be about a 21-yarder. They kick. Why, Frostburg is blocked.
And it's down.
It's rolling. And the Knights are going to get the football, and this game remains scoreless.
Actually gaining some yardage off of that, too. Not just the actual blocking of the kick, but the way that it rolled. Knights will pick up some yardage.
Just a few, but the most important thing is certainly the block and keeping Frostburg off the scoreboard. So Frostburg looking like they might drive it in for a touchdown, Art. Instead, a big couple of plays by the Knights, a drop pass in the end zone by Frostburg, and now a blocked field goal attempt.
Yeah, you can see that excitement on the sideline. Now the replay.
2 or 3 hands got up there.
Yeah, and it starts at the 10, but just keeps bobbling back. The Knights will gain an extra 15 yards out of that, and you could see the excitement on the sideline. Not only does stopping the points help, but that is such a huge momentum swing. The longer the Knights can go without Frostburg scoring, the more they feel that they can get this game underhand.
Yeah, the Knights are going to start this drive at their own 26-yard line. Quarterback hands it off over the right side. Honeycutt giving to the ball carrier, who picks up 4, almost 5 yards. Good run.
Yeah, it looks like that was Trevor Miller that time. Again, originally playing running back, getting around the outside there.
Yeah, Miller can double as a tight end, also a fullback.
Yeah, neither team really looking for the long ball, looking to really explode things right now, just trying to establish a pace, get some momentum, and just kind of work the ball down the field. Both teams able to do that a bit. Neither, though, able to put one in the barn yet.
About a 3-yard pickup on 1st down, so 2nd down, 7, 30-yard line. Jared Watts will get the call this time, and he is hit as soon as he tries the right side and goes down for about a half-yard pickup.
Yeah, good effort that time, firing in by the Frostburg State defense to blow up the play. Looks like that was Niles Scott.
And as a result, it's going to bring up 3rd down now for the Knights. Looks to be a throwing situation here for the quarterback, Honeycutt.
Yeah, he's a run threat as well, so they may do something in a bootleg if he's got the pass, take it, or if not, tuck and run. We've seen a bit of that from him already so far today.
3rd and 6 at the 32 from the shotgun. Honeycutt wants to throw, fires right side, man out there, caught, 1st down, Knights. No, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds before the catch was complete.
Boy, it was a great throw, though, especially with the pressure coming at him.
Eric Howard, the tight end, was there, Art, but just couldn't apparently keep his feet in bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he had one in, one out, perhaps, as he came down with that one. But, again, as it turns out, the Knights actually able to probably gain some ground compared to what they had with Frostburg starting last time. The question is, has the long snapper fixed his issue he had on the last one? Are the Knights, if the Knights are able to get a good clean snap and a good kick, they could reverse the field on Frostburg pretty well here.
Dawson at 5'9" is the punter. He was able to go up and get that snap last time.
There's
This one's
a good one.
Pretty good snap. Dawson's kick upfield. Fielded by Frostburg at the 40. They'll bring it back all the way near the 45-yard line.
Yeah, great job on the open field tackle that time. Colin Pearson able to step up on that, particularly with two men running out in front of your return man, able to get around the edge and make that tackle when you're the first man in. Very impressive.
And so, again, it's going to be good starting field position here for Frostburg. 45-yard line of the Knights in this scoreless ball game in the first quarter.
Yeah, both teams really having a difficult time with consistency, both doing reasonably well moving the ball, but again, without anybody going for the long ball or anybody breaking a big play, it's just kind of this slow march back and forth.
Knights show blitz. Cox, the quarterback, from the shotgun. He wants to throw one first down. Quick pass, has his receiver at the 40-yard line. Good quick move by the receiver, Antonio Wood, and ends up picking up about 8 yards almost.
Yeah, that time, again, the first contact enough to slow him down, but the Knights are really going to have to be sure to wrap up, form tackle. It's something you see even all the way down to from middle school, high school ball up to the pros, people wanting to lay the big hit and not necessarily wrap up. You've got to form tackle correctly, or these guys are going to get away from you.
Second down and short, only about 2 to go from the 37-yard line. This time it's going to be the fullback getting the ball. Didn't need much, and it looks like the running back will pick up maybe 3 yards straight up the middle.
Yeah, if you noticed at the very beginning of that play, though, something odd. The handoff from the center at the actual snap was a little bit slow. So if you watch right here, the quarterback takes a snap, a little bit slow, bobbled a little bit to turn around.
Also bobbled by the running back, too.
Yeah, those were not clean transitions. That does not bode well. They've already fumbled one snap today from Frostburg.
First down, Bobcats, 34 of the Knights. Play action, throw, catch made. 25-yard line down to the 21-yard line of the Knights as the receiver, Miles Burgess, makes the catch. Yeah. And they're just going with that short passing game now, Art.
Yeah, well, the Knights are really I think they're fearing the long ball. They got hurt by it last week or 2 weeks ago a few times against Rhodes, and so they're willing to have some attrition here, give up the short stuff to prevent the long stuff. But if they keep giving up first downs, the same thing's going to happen in the end. First down,
20-yard line, back to the ground game. Ball carrier picks up maybe 6 that time as Gavin Levatt is able to get ahead. 6 foot, 205-pound freshman picked up almost 5.5 yards on that play.
Yeah, and the 1, 2, 3 yard plays that start out from Frostburg are now turning into 4, 5, 6 yard plays. The Knights defense has spent a lot of time on the field already in this first quarter. They're going to have to get some relief by some extending of the offense, or they're really going to start getting gassed.
Frostburg on its first series fumbled the ball, also had a blocked field goal. Now they're back at the 15-yard line of Southern Virginia, and Cox wants to throw over to the left side, a clear out. The receiver makes the catch and goes out of bounds near the 6-yard line as Burgess made the catch, and it looked like the other receiver, Antonio Wood, a little further downfield, Art, to kind of clear out that short passing lane on the left side.
Yeah, they've been really well-designed pass routes. They're really complementary that way. And it seemed like the first couple of drives, perhaps Frostburg was feeling out the defense from Southern Virginia, how they were adapting to different routes, and now they're picking plays such to pick apart that defense.
First and goal at the 7-yard line. They'll go to Levatt, the tailback up the middle. He runs into a brick wall at the 6-yard line and is knocked down right around there.
Yeah, big ups to the defensive line of the Knights. They really haven't been beaten so far today, despite a lot of pressure being put up against them by a stout offensive line for the Bobcats. They have held strong.
And it's second and goal at the 6-yard line. You almost get the feeling, Art, if they're going to score, but the Bobcats, they're going to have to throw this ball.
Well, that certainly looked that way the first time. now in a pass situation.
They
No,
give
it's
it to
the draw.
Levat again. Up the middle. The surge gets him into the end zone. Touchdown, Frostburg, with 1:19 to go here in the first quarter. And it looked like they had that play bottled up, but the offensive line and Levat kept surging.
Yeah, well, that's first of all, the shotgun draw is dangerous. That way, it generally makes you think pass. Particularly, I mean, you said they're going to have to pass. I thought the shotgun was for pass. Looks like the Knights felt the same way, and it's just that first step where you're thinking to pull back just a little bit, as opposed to going in on that quarterback. Gave him enough time to get that first surge, and then it's just momentum pushing you ahead.
And now Isaac Robinson, the kicker, will attempt the extra point. Trying to make this a 7-0 ball game with 1:18 to go first quarter.
Remember, the Knights have blocked a field goal already today.
This extra point try sails up and through, and it's the Bobcats on top now, 7-0. And now, Art, it's up to the Knights offense to kind of get things going. They've had a few first downs in this first quarter, but not really able to sustain anything. And without question, the last couple of times, Frostburg has had the ball in pretty good field position.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse, not better, as this game goes on. They're really going to have to. I mean, your defense can only do so much for you. The Knight offense, as you said, really needs to start stringing some of these together, not only to get some field position for themselves, maybe put some points on the board, but also to give Frostburg State worse field position, make them go the length of the field. But so far, they've had great field position on all three of their drives, and the defense has had to hold them. But also give your defense a little bit of rest. Let them have the opportunity to catch up a little bit, catch their breath before they have to go right back on the field and do it again.
And as you can see, great crowd on hand for this home opener for the Knights, their first game in the New Jersey Athletic Conference here in 2015.
Yeah, standing room only. It's a great environment out here today. And I'll tell you what, if you told Jason Walker that at the end of the first quarter they would have blocked a field goal, recovered a fumble, and only been down 7-0 with $1:18 left, I think he might have taken that.
Yeah, the Knights actually had a couple of good drives here in the first quarter. They picked up some first downs, and they had their most success when attempting to run the ball and go with the short passing game. We'll see if they continue that when they get the ball here after this kickoff.
Yeah, they've got some dangerous return men as well. Depending on where this goes, could be a great opportunity for the Knights. Much better kick this time than the first one.
And it is picked up by the Knights around the 5-yard line and brought back. Very short return by Kendall Kessinger, who played his high school football about just a county to the west of us in Allegheny County.
Yeah, interesting there that time. He takes it and immediately cuts to the outside. We didn't have the view to see what the middle of the field looked like, but typically, unless you've got a wide open seam down the edge, you want to cut to the middle, see if you can create something using the rest of the field. But the Knights content that time to take the ball, get out of bounds, and get the offense rolling.
And the Knights will send Sean Honeycutt back out there as the quarterback, along with Jared Watts, tailback. And starting this drive at the 14-yard, they really do need at least a few first downs. They don't want to punt this ball back to Frostburg, not where they're currently located at.
Absolutely not.
Watts gets the carry. Tough yardage up the middle. He battles his way all the way up to around the 19-yard line, though. What looked like maybe it was going to be a 1 or 2 yard pickup turns out to be about a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, great push that time by Jared. You know, he's not a real big guy, 5'9", 185, but good for him to create a hole, cut back and forth a little bit, and get a couple extra yards on that, because a few extra yards makes a big difference. Now, 2nd and 4, much more manageable than a 2nd and 8, which it looked like it could have been.
Ball down at the 19-yard line. Knights will have to get to around the 24 to get a first down as Honeycutt goes shotgun. Blitz on, fires right side, has his receiver, and Frostburg wrapping up the receiver right away for about a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, Honeycutt having to get rid of that one quickly. He had a lot of white jerseys in his face.
Carroll making the catch. Boy, we saw him have some great games in 2014. The one that really comes to mind, the one that was at Salem Stadium against Guilford.
Yeah, that was his breakout game. Early on in that one, I think I referred to him as a particular tight end by the name of Graham in that one. He just had such soft hands, big target across the middle. He's a solid player.
First quarter comes to a close, Art. 7-0 Frostburg on top here. Knights defense doing a pretty good job in that first period. Dodging some bullets, blocking a field goal, of course, on special teams, recovering a fumble. But Frostburg eventually able to put it into the end zone.
Well, not to stick with the night theme too much, but it's really shown some of the chinks in the armor of the Frostburg State side. They've shown the propensity to make mistakes. They're not invincible. And I think after the way they performed against Wesley, at least for a while there, the Knights may have come into this one thinking it was going to be really just trying to avoid the route, but certainly it looks like the Knights can hang with these guys, particularly if they can start exploiting some of these weaknesses, the transitions and so forth. As we see here, that's the very early kick return at the beginning of that the beginning of the first half that the Knights did not come away with, but able to get one shortly thereafter.
Yeah, a lot of teams, both these teams actually had problems with turnovers in the opening minute. Both turned it over once in the opening minute.
Yeah, and that's a big bullet dodged by the Knights, able to come back and then stopping them on defense within the 5-yard line to create or to only allow the field goal and then to block the field goal. The defense has really done a great job. And if the offense can just get rolling a little bit, the Knights have really got an opportunity here.
Knights will be playing on the road the next 2 weeks. Next Saturday playing at Salisbury. 2 weeks from today, Art, at Wesley. And then October the 10th, their next home game, homecoming against Montclair.
Yeah, Wesley, as we mentioned, was a buzzsaw for Frostburg State. And, boy, that will be a very, very tough opponent.
Big third down play to start the second period for the Knights. They need 6 to get a first down.
Trip left receivers.
Honeycutt wants to throw deep. Wings it out there, and it's intercepted by Frostburg.
Boy.
Around the 44-yard line, it was Tristan Burnett just outreaching the intended receiver for that football.
Yeah, a lot of contact on that one. We'll see a replay here in just a second.
Make that Riddell from the Frostburg team making the catch, and he outfought Nathan Wilson.
Yeah, bumping back and forth just a little bit. It was anybody's ball at that point. But you hate to see an interception, but at least it's on a long ball, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but that's still going to create the worst starting field position for Frostburg
Just
State.
about, yeah.
I think it's the only time they've started with it on the in their own territory.
And it looked like they were just trying to catch Frostburg napping instead of going with the short passing game. They were hoping to break the receiver open over the middle.
Here's that I formation this time. It is the play-action pass. Now Frostburg
Man
going
open.
Deep.
It is caught and dropped to the 19. That's another big drop by a Frostburg receiver.
Yeah, boy, that was very, very dangerous, though. That time, Braden Barris in coverage was just beat down the sideline.
Burgess, the intended receiver, and he just would try to he had to come back for the ball. Or if that ball's over his shoulder, maybe he catches it for 6 and goes in, but he tried to come back for the ball and could not do it.
Well, and not only that, Braden Barris that time wasn't even looking back for the ball. Looks like the ball got there and he just happened to connect at the right time. Sometimes better lucky than good.
But 2nd and 10, 45-yard line for Frostburg at the Bobcats 45.
Empty backfield, 5 wideouts.
Wildcat formation, and the quarterback fires and hits the receiver as Joe Beckford hits Wood, and he'll be about 2 yards shy, almost 3 yards shy of the first down marker near the 48-yard line of SVU.
Yeah, 3rd and short, middle of the field. I think that considering they haven't been able to move the ball as easily as they'd like, I see Frostburg going with the run this time, trying to find something up the middle to get that first down.
Connor Cox back in there at quarterback on a 3rd and about 3.
Here's that I formation.
Cox will give it to the tailback up the middle, and he's got a first down. That's Jordan Brown across the 45 of SVU, and he's down near the 43. First down, Bobcats now.
Yeah, it's been pretty reliable, 3 to 4 yards up the middle, maybe 2 to 3 for Frostburg State. They haven't been able to break big ones up the middle there, but it has been pretty consistent for them to get those 2-3 yards.
First down, Bobcats, 43 of the Knights, 7-0 on top is Frostburg. Cox will go shotgun with 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Knights show blitz. Cox will take it himself on a play-action draw play. He's got running room, and he's outside of the 35, and finally gang tackle near the 34-yard line of Southern Virginia. Another first down for the Bobcats.
Yeah, that's the danger of that familiarity. Again, there's that kind of being lulled into a secure feeling there. They keep giving that handoff and keep giving it, and the Knights collapsed on that so hard. And had they given it off, it would have been a huge stop. But unfortunately, the quarterback keeper, you'll see right here, he cuts back to the left after the defense has completely collapsed on the right.
See Owens there along with Bergman and Blackham all making the tackle, but not until the quarterback was able to pick up good yardage. Second down and short, and Frostburg picks up the first down there near the 31-yard line of the Knights.
Yeah, that time the designed run snapped to Ian Fisher. He's a pretty big guy for a quarterback coming in at 6'5", 230.
Maybe because even though we mentioned it's pretty good weather, it's a little hot out there, Art. Maybe they're running those quarterbacks in and out to give Cox a little bit of a breather here and there.
Yeah, well, we mentioned the defense for the Knights being winded a little bit, but the offense for Frostburg's been out there too. It always takes more effort, more energy to defend since you don't know exactly where the play is going. But
Cox back in there, a quarterback, wants to throw to the left. Now he's just going to have to get rid of the ball.
That was a very interesting stunt that time. You love seeing that from the offensive line of Frostburg right from the beginning of the play. We'll see if we can get a replay of that one for you. Watch the offensive line here just drop.
And you see Cox look left and have to do a 360 and then get rid of the ball.
Yeah, that's designed to be kind of a quick pass, and opportunity not there for that one. Fun to see some fun with the play calling that time.
So it's 2nd and 10 for the Bobcats at the Knights 31. Man in motion. And the handoff on the right side. Good gain. 10-yard line, 5-yard line, and looks like Cockerham goes in for the score.
Yeah, that time it was almost a full-blown student body right, with the exception the quarterback kind of doing the naked bootleg.
Actually, Thomas Moore on the carry, and he got some running room around the right side there, Art, and then got to the 10-yard line and suddenly found himself wide open.
Yeah, once he got into the secondary, unfortunately, the Knights unable to stop him. It was just too much. There are too many blockers staying with him to the outside there, creating some running room.
And now the Bobcats will try to make it a 14-point game. And they do.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough snap that time. Well handled by the holder for Frostburg State. Kind of came right at his head instead of right out in front of him, but well handled, able to get it down. Frostburg converting, now making it 14-0.
And again, we're only in the second period. Still got 12:35 to go to halftime, but down by 14 here, Art. Knights really could use a drive that gives them a little confidence, keeps their defense off the field, picks up some first downs, and ideally gets them in the end zone.
Absolutely. Those are all good things, but you have to remember they were down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter 2 weeks ago, and then had 30 points dropped on them in the second. You have to wonder if they're feeling a little scared that would happen again, or whether they're feeling, that this one's better, that so far so good, that it's not gotten away from them more. So it all depends on how you choose to look at it right now.
Frostburg's capable. They scored 52 in their opener against Geneva. And then, of course, just had the 3 points against Wesley. But then again, Wesley's kind of like the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting matchup. I don't know that we'll see that one this season, though.
Well, we talked about it on one of the soccer webcasts. Wesley's on one level, heads above a lot of folks in Division III. But then again, you got Whitewater and Mount Union even above Wesley, as the Knights will bring this kickoff back. Kessinger is ripped hard, and he goes down around the 16-yard line.
Yeah, impressive, though, that time. Kessinger kind of absorbing that blow, not going down. It did stand him up a bit, prevent him from going any farther, but way to take that shot and keep going.
Saw him play high school football over at Allegheny. He's only 5'7", 140 pounds, but as you mentioned, he's pretty tough.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight, Jim. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Or the teeth.
Also the teeth, yes, that's true. That has more to do with the sharpness, I think, than the size. But
so
I guess both
Southern Virginia will start this drive at the 16, Art. And they got a new quarterback in there in Crosby Jensen trying to get something going for the Knights.
Pearson split way wide to the top of your screen.
Jensen wants to throw one first down. The lefty is hit, and he is sacked back around the 5-yard line. Let's see where they mark him. They'll mark him closer to the 7 where he was initially hit, it looks like.
Yeah, if you look at that beginning of the play, too, though, it looked like Pearson, like I said, at the top of the screen here, single coverage, and he is wide open. Looks like Jensen may have even seen him, just unable to get that quick out to him. If he's able to get that ball away, that'd be a huge pickup for the Knights.
Jensen
corner blitz that time really created an opportunity.
Yeah, Jensen's a good throwing quarterback. Played at Snow College. I think he was able to throw 15 touchdown passes when he was at Snow. So he's got the throwing ability. Lost some yardage there back to the 7. It's second down, 19 to go. Knights really need a first down here. They go draw play and only get a couple. Up to around the 11-yard line that time. Short gain, Arden now, 3rd and long, and the Knights, unless they can pick up a first down, are going to have to punt the football from around their end zone, and Frostburg will be maybe set up again.
Yeah, the punts have been decent so far for the Southern Virginia. It's looks like we got a call coming from the ref here. It's been the returns from Frostburg that have mitigated a lot of that. Personal foul.
Against the Knights. Don't need that. So they're going to repeat second down.
Half the distance to the goal. Probably not that... Yeah, after the play. That's
dead ball.
I didn't know why they would take that penalty.
Right. Not after they basically only held that gain to only 1 or 2 yards. So now it's 3rd down. The ball is back at the 6.
Yeah, half the distance to the goal line gives you a couple of yards too. So
now the Knights have a choice here: play it safe for the run or try to throw upfield. Don't want to take a safety here either, but you really need to pick up a first down. Otherwise, you're punting from your end zone. Jensen back to throw. He's got time. He fires. Trying to hit his receiver, and it's incomplete.
Yep.
Trying to hit Lorenzen.
Saying it's off the turf.
Lorenzen was out there, Art. Pass was just a little too far for him to grab.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been enough for a first down, but it certainly would have given your long snapper and your punter a little bit more room to work.
See, Lorenzen break free. Would have had maybe around the 21 or 22. But you're right, not enough for maybe a first down, but certainly would have given the punting situation a lot more breathing room for the Knights.
Yeah, well, we remember earlier there was that snap that was almost over the punter's head. If that happens now, that's an instant safety.
Dawson ready to kick. And he got away just before it was blocked. And he's going to get a great roll out of this.
Best kick of the day.
Fielded around the 48-yard line, and good downfield coverage by the Knights, as Bonzel only was able to return that for 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, it took a great Southern Virginia bounce that time from its initial contact.
What do you think, about 10 or 15 yards maybe on that roll?
Yeah, and not only that, it was able to bounce kind of squirrely enough that it made it difficult for the return man to get his hands on it. So it slowed him down in addition to creating more yards the other way.
So now the Bobcats are back onto the field with their offense, starting once again in Southern Virginia territory at the 48 of the Knights, and already on top here by 14. Got a feeling Jason Walker wants his defense to hold right here and not allow any more points. Trying to stay in this game is Connor Cox on a play action, rolls away from a defender, and he's going to try to put it away and run with it and get to the 48-yard line.
Great job by the Knights that time, collapsing on him, not allowing opportunities. If he'd have slowed down to make a comfortable throw, he would have gone down on that. So the Knights, great job there. Also to have the soft side protection.
You'll see Stockton Hyatt, I believe that is, come in and just can't grab him. The fake allowed Cox to avoid the sack in the backfield, Art.
Yeah, Tristan Burnett, too, keeping on that inside pursuit angle, not letting him cut it upfield. It's been something quarterbacks so far from Frostburg have been able to hurt the Knights with. Not so that time.
Second down and 10 now. Motion man. And the quarterback instead will take it. That is Beckford up the middle. And he's going to get 5 or 6 out of it. Yeah, almost 7.
Yeah, not sure if that was an option or an option jet sweep or a design keeper. It looks like he was feeling out the defense a little bit that time, not handing off the ball to Austin Bonsall.
They'll bring Beckford in kind of a wildcat formation, mainly a running quarterback. Cox, though, he can run or throw, as we've seen. 3rd and 4.
Big down here for the Knights. Big down here for the Knights if they're able to create a stop.
Well, they go run or pass. It's going to be a pass play. Cox fires, has his receiver at the 38-yard line.
Great
that is Burgess making the catch.
Yeah, great tackle that time. Owens hitting him right on the belt. wrapping up, hanging on to him.
Owen's a freshman, and he's made some nice plays here in this first half defensively.
Absolutely. They did convert for the 1st and 10.
And so Frostburg runs more clock here in the second quarter with a 1st and 10 now at the 38-yard line of the Knights.
That strong right eye formation, and the flag comes in. Some motion on the offensive line, looks like.
Would push the Bobcats back to their 43 with illegal procedure. So 5 yards against Frostburg. False start on the Bobcats. 5-yard penalty, back to the 43, 1st and 15 now.
Now, little things like that can help the Knights out. Certainly, Frostburg hasn't been converting everything on 1st, 2nd, 3rd down. It's been pretty close, so that extra 5 yards could be huge.
Rashawn Johnson is the tailback. He's going to get it over the right side. He bounces it, tries to bounce it to the inside, ran into a blocker at the 41 and goes down right there.
Yeah, Knights a little lucky on that one. Some attempts at arm tackles, enough to slow him down but not bring him down. But able to have help come and prevent the big gain. Looks like he picked up just a couple on that.
And it's 2nd down and 13 for Frostburg now at the 41-yard line of the Knights. Johnson, 5'9", 180-pound freshman. They've run really 3 running backs. Johnson and also Jordan Brown, and then the guy who got the touchdown, Levat. The first touchdown of the game. 2nd and 13 at the 41-yard line. Cox to throw. Screen pass being set up. And this might be a big gainer at the 30-yard line. Now we got a flag as the receiver is going to go close to the end zone and get in, but this one's probably coming back, Art, for a blocking penalty, maybe a hold.
Yeah, it looked like in the zone of holding. We'll have to see what the referee says.
And it might have been unnecessary because they really set up that screen pretty good.
It's true. We'll see what it comes back as.
Anthony Parker made the catch and went in, but most likely a hold here against the Bobcats.
And it's coming back.
Well, you know, the Knights dodged a few bullets, of course, in the first half. Frostburg had a fumble, a drop pass in the end zone, had a field goal blocked. And now a big holding penalty on a screen pass that picked up a lot of yardage.
Yeah, that's a huge penalty. Cameron Waller called it that one. You always hate that as a running back. You want to have receivers that can catch. You want to have receivers that can block. But you hate to have them get a hold on that one and negate that touchdown, especially now creating 2nd and 23.
Ball back at the 49 on the Frostburg side of the 50-yard line. New quarterback in there just for a running play up the middle.
That's Ian Fisher. Not seen a lot from him except for the run today, not even except for the designed run.
6'5", 230 pounds. They brought him in and Beckford in to spell Cox, and Cox is back out there at quarterback now on a 3rd and long.
Yeah, just a couple on that one, 3rd and 21.
Depending on what they do here on 3rd down, this could be 4-down territory. If they can pick up 10 or 15 yards on a pass play, maybe. Cox on a draw play instead. And up the middle goes the running back, and that is Levat, who scored the game's first touchdown, getting some good yardage. And now we'll see if they punt or go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, the Knights have done a really good job about getting penetration, as you can see right here, but it's got to be disciplined penetration. You've got to follow the ball, know where it's going.
Good defensive play by Scott Laxton, coming up, paying the price, and hitting the ball carrier and knocking him right down at the 41-yard line.
Absolutely. Once you get past him in the secondary, it becomes a lot more difficult to make that open field tackle.
4th and 13. They're
going
to go for it. Nope, going to be a quick kick for Cox. Hoping to pin the Knights deep, and it's going to be knocked back at the 1-yard line, and now they're going to say touchback.
Yeah, they're going to say he stepped on the end line there, it looks like. I'll have to see. We'll see if we can get a replay of that one to show us.
Talk about dodging a bullet, though. You're talking about the 1-yard line if he doesn't step on the line.
Yeah, That would have been very, very dangerous situation. Here's a replay coming up of that.
Close, but just no cigar there for Frostburg. So the Knights have the offense back onto the field, trailing here by 14 as we close in on halftime.
Well, the Knights, again, defense holding strong despite a little bit of an extended run that time.
Crosby Jensen back out there as quarterback. Honeycutt got the start. Penalty against the Knights right off the bat.
I believe it was an illegal substitution. Not positive.
Well, the Knights have actually had their problems with penalties here in the first half. Usually the 5-yard variety. So now the ball to 15, 1st and 15. Bobcats show blitz. And it's a short gain up the middle to around the 18-yard line that time for the Knights as Lakeith Hopkins got the carry. He ran the ball quite a lot a couple weeks ago, Art, against Rhodes. Rhodes just shut down the Knights, though, really limiting their yards per carry on the ground.
Yeah, Hopkins, not a particularly big guy himself, 5'7", 160, really relying on his ability to cut quickly, make adjustments, and get away from defenders. Not the kind of guy that's going to just barrel you down, but able that time to pick up a few yards even despite contact in the backfield.
So it's 2nd and 12 at the 18-yard line. Shotgun for Jensen, the quarterback. Wants to pull it away from Hopkins and take it himself, and he slides to the turf after a short gain to the 22, which should bring up 3rd down, about 8 to go.
Yeah, moving the ball just a little bit, and you can deal with getting 3 yards of play when you're looking at 1st and 10, but because of that penalty dropping back to 1st and 15, 3 yards of play is not going to do it sufficient for a 1st down.
And if they don't pick up a 1st down here on a 3rd and 8 play, you punt the ball back to Frostburg. And the Bobcats in this first half have really had outstanding field position throughout the 1st and 2nd period.
Yeah, and 5 minutes is plenty of time to convert again.
See if Jensen can make a big pass completion on a 3rd and 8 as Frostburg shows blitz. They come on a blitz. He fires over to the left side, has his receiver. It's Carroll, but he's well shy of the 1st down marker. Now they're going to say incomplete. He was shy by the 1st down marker by a good 4 to 5 yards, and now it's 4th down and a punting situation again here for the Knights.
Yeah, the Frostburg State defense has really been pinning their ears back and coming after our quarterback at Southern Virginia. Frankly, you can't blame them. The offensive line has not really shown so far that they're able to rebuff that. And the secondary from Frostburg's been able to cover well enough that the first option and sometimes even 2nd and 3rd options are taken away from the Knights, so they can't get through the rotation quickly enough to get something out. It looks like they're going to be coming after the quarterback all day long.
Dawson ready to punt. And he'll call a timeout with 4:42 to go till halftime. And Frostburg on top here, 14-0.
Interesting calling a timeout in that situation. The Knights looked like they were set. You got to wonder if they're considering a fake maybe, and they didn't like the look of things, decided to change it up. I mean, certainly with 5 minutes or under 5 minutes left in the first half, there's a possibility that whatever was going on, you've got the timeouts to take. You might as well burn them. Otherwise, there's no point in having them. But not sure what the call was there.
Hope to talk to Jason Lamb at halftime, Art. And then also coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be webcasting soccer. Women's soccer on Tuesday against Averett, and then men's soccer Wednesday against Bridgewater. And then you'll have your first volleyball webcast coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, volleyball has played one home match already, but this will be the first broadcast of the season for them. Lots of exciting things going on with that team as well.
Dawson ready to punt. Pass time, kicks it away.
Best kick of the day by far.
Bonsall picks it up at the 32 for Frostburg.
Oh, push in the back there.
He's to the 50, and he's finally still on his feet. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds, though, at the 45 of the Knights.
Yeah, that was a...
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again on replay because it looked like it was a possible penalty against Frostburg.
Yeah, there was a big push in the back. We'll get the replay up right here, and you'll see number 22 right here, 22 and 80, pushing him right out of the play. Two hands right on the back side of him. That's That's a penalty where I come from.
And no call from the referee, and as a result, Frostburg has outstanding field position again to start a drive with 4:28 to go till halftime.
Yeah, great kick. Just, again, the Knights not able to get down and stop the return, though.
Cox, the quarterback, under center, play action. He wants to throw, and he fires short, has his fullback at the 40. Ramsey gets close to the 35. He's down at the 36. The knee hit there after about a gain of 9.
Yeah, great play that time. Ramsey coming in 5'11", 230. He's a big guy. Typically, you don't see fullbacks coming out of the backfield catching passes that long with such ease.
Well, it looked like Cox wanted to go way downfield and then just settled for the short pass.
Yeah, good job by the Knights secondary to take that long pass away.
Second down and short. About 1.5 yards to go here for Bobcats. Cox, quick pass again. He's got his receiver, Wood, at the 30. Breaks a tackle and down near the 25 of the Knights. Antonio Wood, 6'1", 190-pound senior, and he has shown himself to be a pretty good athlete in this first half.
Yeah, way too many yards after contact for the Knights. The first man that gets there is not often the man to bring receivers, running backs down. We've really got to find ways to stop them where we are. If you can take him down yourself, take him down. If not, stop him and just hold him there till help comes. It's not been the Knights have not been able to do that much so far today.
And a big defensive stand needed here by Southern Virginia to avoid going 3 scores down. Cox, play action, fires over the middle. No one there, incomplete.
Yeah, definitely some miscommunication. Nobody even in the neighborhood. The two closest players both wearing green jerseys. You're not sure if that was a good job by the Knights deflecting someone off their route or whether it was just miscommunication from Frostburg, the quarterback and the receiver not on the same page of the playbook.
Brings up second down and 10 and stops the clock with 3:20 to go till halftime.
This would be another opportunity for the Knights to have a big momentum shift. If they can get a stop here and prevent a score going in at the half.
Jordan Brown, tailback up the middle. He'll get a 4 or 5 yards down close to the 20.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That was William Mackay, I believe, coming in there, able to put a body on him, wrap up at the waist. He got maybe 1 yard after catch, but he was able to hold him right where he first hit that line and not gain any more. Not only does it keep burning clock, but it prevents them from moving the chains.
Pickup of about 4 brings up third down, 6 to go for Frostburg. 21-yard line of Southern Virginia. Obviously, this could be 4-down territory for Frostburg if they want to use third and fourth down to pick up 6 yards.
Huge third down, though.
Cox hands off to Brown. He cuts it back to the left. He's to the 10. He cuts it back to the right and is hit from behind and dragged down at the 6-yard line. And that was a touchdown saving tackle, potentially, I guess, by maybe Scott Laxton, who came over from the right side and knocked the ball carrier down, but it's first and goal.
Yeah, that was Laxton. You can see cutting across here one more time. Big hit laid on him by the end, but once again, how many Knights touch him before he actually goes down? I don't know the answer numerically, but I do know it's too many.
And it's first and goal for Frostburg at the 6 of the Knights. Ramsey the up back, Brown the tailback. Cox the quarterback, hands it off to Jordan Brown over the right side. Gets close to the 2 or 3. Looks like they'll mark him around the 2.
Well, the Knights' defensive line still holding solid. There's been, I think, nearly all the large plays today. The big gainers for Frostburg have been around the ends or through the air, but very little going through the middle of that line. Great job by the Knight defensive line. And particularly considering they lost a lot of the front 7 to graduation last year. Really, it's Sam Malore still in there anchoring for the Knights.
The ball's near the 2.5-yard line. I formation. Brown again. Hit and dragged down the 5-yard line. And that was a big play by the Knights, and that was Sam Malore coming in.
See, he was just waiting for me to call his name. I was waiting for him to make a play to call his name, but here's a great replay on that. You'll see big 66 around the right side there.
He came in off a block. Looked like from Frostburg they were trying to make the block. That was Zach Zagoni trying to make the block, and Malore went right around him, and now it's third and goal from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I believe Sam is the lone senior for Southern Virginia this year, making his presence felt in this game. He's one of those guys you might not call his name all that often, but he has an effect on every play that he's in.
Third and goal from the 6. Shotgun formation. Cox looks left, fires, has his receiver Wood at the 1. He's down right there. Good gang tackling by the Knights to keep him out of the end zone.
They're going to say he extended that ball but did not break the plane. 4th down.
Tristan Burnett was there. Joshua Davis, 2 or 3 other Knights to keep him down inside the 1. And it's 4th and goal with the clock running.
Yeah, good job to not allow him to look like he was trying to shake and bake a little bit, get into the end zone, but the Knights held their ground.
Frostburg's got the option here of going forward on a 4th and goal from less than a yard away, or kicking the field goal, which would be a bit even closer than an extra point.
Yeah, they're going to take a timeout. I was going to say 8 seconds left on the play clock, not enough men on the field yet.
I'll tell you, with the big blocking backs that Frostburg
And
uses,
the Knights take the timeout.
with the big blocking backs that the Bobcats have available, you would think it'd be a no-brainer. They would go for it less than a yard away.
I don't know. I see your point. Here's that possible shake and bake, but not going to happen. 5 different Knights in there to stop the potential end zone dive. But with the way that the Knights' defensive line is held, they've had times where they haven't been able to get anything, and particularly if you know it's coming. I think the Knights have an opportunity to really I think you have to weigh it for Frostburg. Is it worth 3 points for the field goal, or is it worth the extra 4, or to completely change the feel of this game, to give the Knights a lot of confidence going into halftime knowing that they just stopped?
And, if you go with that 4th down play, it stands to reason it would be up the middle. Now they're going to go for the field goal instead.
I know Delane Fitzgerald has a propensity for some fun sometimes.
Yes, he
too.
does.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a trick play. It may very well just be the field goal too, but don't be surprised if it's not. And that's going to be another timeout, I believe. The Knights again.
Maybe they're talking about the possibility of a trick play. And, of course, now you would hate to see Delane and the Bobcats change their minds, go for the touchdown, and score.
Yeah, you got to wonder. That time the kicker was marking off his steps at least twice. You got to wonder if that was an indication. Maybe that's not what he's doing. Maybe on the third one, I've seen it where they do that, and then the third time as he's walking back, you snap and have the end around.
And I seem to recall this a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when they were playing VU Lynchburg and the game was on the line, and VU Lynchburg was going to go for a tying field goal to send the game to overtime. Southern Virginia took a timeout. They changed their minds. They went for a touchdown. They scored a touchdown and won the game.
And who was the coach at that time?
Delane Fitzgerald, head coach of the Knights.
Where's he coaching now?
He's coaching for Frostburg. Well, they're going to set up for the apparent field goal.
We'll see.
About an 18-yarder.
And again, remember the Knights did block the only other field goal attempt so far today by Frostburg. That's got to weigh on your mind a bit as well if you're the Wildcats.
See if the Bobcats are just going for the 3 here, or if we have any trickeration. They're going to go for the field goal. No! They're going to roll and throw. There's no one out there to throw to, and they're going to try to run for it, and they don't make it. Well, what a big play by the Knights special teams.
And that is the danger in that situation. You don't come up with the 3, and not only that, what a huge momentum swing. Now
and it looked like the holder,
here's the replay.
Rosati, wanted to maybe throw, and there was no one out there to throw to.
Yeah, maybe had an opportunity to hit his man right there, number 10, Isaac Robinson, but the Knights sniffing that out.
Joshua Davis was one of those, chasing him down at the 1-yard line to knock him out of bounds.
Yeah, that was just a huge hit that time. They were not going to allow that. Great job by the Knights.
And so the Knights, with a couple of timeouts, it really pays off hard for them, and they keep the score at 14-0.
Yeah, if you can trade 2 timeouts for 7 points in a game this tight, I think it's well worth it. The Knights this time, I imagine, just going to take it and
I would imagine
get rid
Jensen
of it.
will just run straight up the middle. The quarterback, under center, burrows his way for a yard or two, just trying to avoid a safety here at the very end of the first half.
Frostburg does have 3 timeouts since the Knights took it. If they really wanted to, they could burn it.
Clock is stopped. And I see no reason not to, Art, because odds are it's going to be 14-0 at halftime. But if you can have a mistake by the Knights, maybe a fumble, and you're Frostburg, why not take the timeouts?
Yeah, that's a possibility. The other thing I've seen happen is you take your quarterback, you roll him out, and just lob the ball as far downfield as possible.
And hope you get a big break.
Well, or you can get some hang time off of it, 3-4 seconds until it hits, and you can burn more time off of it before the opportunity to call that timeout is taken.
So they put a little more time on the clock, put it back to 14 seconds.
You can call a timeout very quickly on a run up the middle because it's whistled dead quickly, but if you can lob it downfield away from anybody's opportunity to receive it.
Jensen will go shotgun here from about the 3-yard line. Hands the football off. And Watts over the right side up to around the 7 or 8.
Yeah, good job by Watts. Cutting back a little bit again, burning a little bit more time, getting a few more yards. So there's a couple of benefits to this as well. First, from Frostburg, obviously, if you do get the opportunity to get the ball back or stop, get a safety, that's even better. But at least you don't send the Knights into the locker room having immediately after making that big stop where the energy's high, where they're pumped up. Now you send them into the locker room on third down, not feeling as good about themselves.
See Watts on that last running play.
Yep, turning it upfield. You only gain 2 or 3 yards off of it, but that gives you a lot more room instead of starting it from the 1-yard line.
You know, Jason Walker has to feel pretty good, only being down by 14. His defense and special teams really playing well. Just a matter of getting the offense on track right now.
Absolutely. Well, and especially if you consider it was 14-0. I think the second touchdown was 2.5 minutes in the second quarter. So they've held for the last 12.5 minutes. They've held Frostburg scoreless.
Special teams has also done very well today. Third down, 5 to go. Ball near the 7. Jensen, the quarterback here in the second quarter. Honeycutt was the quarterback in the first period. It's Watts up the middle, and he's got enough for a first down up to around the 13-yard line. That should go ahead and run the clock out.
Exactly. At that point, no reason to take the last time out. You get the first down. They could essentially take a knee at this point and burn through to half. And it looks like they're going to do exactly that. Let it go, and we're at halftime.
And so we are at halftime. 14-0 Frostburg here at halftime. And now it's just a matter of trying to get that offense going in the second half, Art.
Yeah, the Knights have been able to get it together a little bit. They started off a little rocky. Both teams, frankly, showing a lot of mistakes, a lot of just not playing particularly clean, not really doing what they probably planned to come out here and do. So it takes a little bit of effort to settle down, to get going. Frostburg able to do that maybe a little earlier than Southern Virginia, but all in all, both teams settling in a lot better than they started.
And the defense, what can you say about the Knights' defense? It's really getting a little hot out there, and the defense was worn down at times, but the defense for the Knights really played very good, and special teams also making some big plays too.
Well, all I can say about the defense is when they needed to hold, they held. If you look at they held on this side of the field within the 5-yard line. 4 downs, they hold them, then they block the field goal. At the other end, they take the timeouts. They end up stopping the fake field goal. So they've given up 14 points, but they've prevented just in those 2 opportunities 14 more. They've really stepped up big when they needed to.
Well, we're going to take a little break here at halftime from the fields at Southern Virginia University with Frostburg on top 14-0. Again, we hope to hear from Jason Lamb, athletic director here at Southern Virginia University during halftime, so stay with us. Welcome back to the fields at Southern Virginia University with Frostburg leading Southern Virginia here in the 2015 home football opener for the Knights, 14-0. Jim Bresnahan now joined by Jason Lamb, athletic director here at Southern Virginia University. And Jason, couldn't ask for a better day weather-wise for football.
Yeah, we didn't order it, but we'll take it. It's great. A little warm, probably for what your athletes want, but I think the fans are loving it. It's a beautiful blue sky, and the mountains look gorgeous. The colors are starting to change a little bit. It's a great day to be here. So.
Delane Fitzgerald's return, the former coach for the Knights, back here obviously as the head coach now for Frostburg.
Yeah, sweet return. He came by actually twice last year. Once on a bye week that they had. He brought his staff down to kind of watch us play. And then he actually came another week. I can't remember what the occasion was, but may have been homecoming. But it's just a neat thing. We help get him to the next thing. As an athletic director, I'm proud of the fact that if we can help coaches elevate. I don't know that I want him to go laterally and compete against us, but it was a big opportunity for him. He had to take it, and so it's great to see him and some of the other coaches back. And they're certainly very friendly and very respectful of the fact that we were the reason they are where they are, and they still love us, and it's a great experience. So.
I'll tell you, the one thing that is consistent about Knights sports is no matter which conference you're in, Capital or NJAC, it is tough.
Well, and that's what attracted me and a few other coaches here, right? This is the big deal. This is the top level of the NCAA Division III. It's interesting as you go around and talk to other conferences or other coaches or ADs. There's a distinct understanding between conference levels. It's almost like in Division I, the differences from some of the bigger conferences, the Big Five certainly, and the rest of the Division I. And I'm not saying there's that much disparity, but definitely we're in two of the most powerful conferences in Division III. I believe that's key to us attracting and recruiting in the right players. Do we have them all right now? No, clearly we don't.
Time,
but it will get there over time. I know for men's lacrosse, as well as for all the sports we have here, coaches are excited to be able to recruit into the schedule and into the competition we play.
Just 4 home games here in 2015. A couple of road games coming up before homecoming against Montclair on the 10th of October. Including 2 weeks from today, the Knights playing on the road to Wesley.
Well, 2 big road trips. You mentioned Wesley, also Salisbury. And so those are monster trips, not only by distance, but the size of the squads and the traditions of those programs. And so we're heading up into big teeth of the NJAC right now. And yes, for those of us that are planning but not coaching, we are looking ahead to homecoming on the 10th. I know the coach Walker and his staff aren't looking beyond next week, but
triple header that day. I think we've got football and then 2 soccer games. So.
The homecoming weekend we do. Yeah. One of them moved. Luckily, Jim, we moved it to Friday to kind of stagger some of the business of the weekend. So we'll have, I think it's men's soccer. Quote me if I'm wrong. But men's soccer on Friday, football Saturday, and then women's soccer following. So, but it's a busy, crazy, fun weekend.
We do have a lot of soccer doubleheaders coming up. I think the first one, September the 30th. The first road soccer doubleheader will be, of course, St. Mary's, the Capital opener. But on the 30th, we got a soccer doubleheader too.
Sure, and fun week. Got to see women got a win earlier in the week, and the men had a great victory here at home. Women's was exciting. Women's was at home. They got an exciting overtime win against Randolph, and then the men
Jamila Gambi with the
overtime
winner.
Yeah, and then we had the men win at Ferrum. So good week for soccer. They also beefed up their schedule. One of the things people wouldn't realize, but when we talk as the coaches and I control the scheduling to the best of my ability. Given the conference schedules are handed to us, but non-conference. And the message is clearly play the best competition you can within our proximity. And I think what is great is our coaches have listened and upped the ante with some of the competition. Our women's soccer team just played Radford, so they're stepping up and playing some tougher schedules. Why?
You look at the men's soccer. There are a lot of ODAC teams. Bridgewater in there, Hampton-Sydney in there, Washington and Lee in there, Roanoke College.
Well, it's a twofold process, right? One is we want to play the best competition we can, but 2, fairness to the school is budgetary restraints. We can play that competition close. We don't have to go to Pennsylvania or New York to get some of the great competition. It's right here in our own backyard in the ODAC, and such a fortunate place to be to play in a powerful conference like the CAC, but then have the ability to schedule non-conferences right here in our backyard in the ODAC. It's the best of both worlds.
The men's soccer team actually played Washington Lee very tough. That game was tied with about 10 minutes to go, and then just a couple of days ago against Roanoke College, they led 1-0 for 56
the whole half,
minutes.
And then early into the second.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I could speak for men's lacrosse. I'm not a soccer strategist, but, you could tell that Coach Patino in particular is holding to a strategy, regardless of the ability of his players, meaning, as I would do, to say this is how we're going to try to teach you early on.
Right.
And he's not strategizing, I'm sure, to a way that says let's play down at a lower level and and so he's frustrated, I'm sure, as any good coach is, that they're not getting some of the wins or finishing some of those games. But he's doing a fabulous job. He's keeping his team disciplined to a strategy that'll pay off down the road.
And certainly don't forget volleyball too. They had a great season last year, and they'll be at home on Thursday.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate kind of transition through the summer. We lost our great coach Brittany Lee, who ended up going back to some family and an opportunity to coach back in Utah. And we're proud of her because she's coaching a junior college program, which will feed us some great players down the road. So we haven't lost touch with Brittany Lee. Our new coach, Nicole Gwynn's a great addition to the coaching ranks, comes as a former player, brings an incredible amount of maturity and energy to the women's volleyball team. They are also going through some growing pains. We didn't have as many girls as we would have liked, part of the transition of a coach coming on board late. But the girls we have are working hard. The coaches are working hard. They've made some adjustments already in the early part of the season, moving a few girls around. Suffered an unfortunate injury, having a senior, Caitlin Tursic, I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry, but she ended up having a knee injury. And so, they're going through the early parts of the battles. The good news is they beat Lynchburg after losing to them 1-3. They beat them 3-0 recently. So that shows the turnaround, right? You play a very quality ODAC opponent like Lynchburg. They go down 1-3 at their place, play them a week later in the WNL tournament, and beat them 3-0. So that shows what Coach Gwynn can do given more time with the girls. So.
Now, Jason, look ahead if you can a couple of months to winter sports, basketball, wrestling, and then not that far away, even a little further down the road, we've got lacrosse, softball, baseball.
Yeah, don't be too excited. We had practice this morning, men's lacrosse. The kids are great. The guys are great. They're doing a phenomenal job. We're still about 10 guys away from what we need to compete in this monster conference, and we're close. But
I'm sure people ask you all the time, when are you guys going to beat Salisbury?
Man, that'd be unbelievable. That's like saying, when are you going to beat Notre Dame football? I don't know. I tell you what my goal is to compete with them, stay with them, battle them in a way that says it's a 60-minute effort on their part. They don't have to be done working hard after 10 minutes like, the last time. But we'll get there by way of competition. The guys are buying in. I love this group. The rest of our sports, sure, excited about basketball. Both teams have some real exciting preseason opportunities. Men are traveling back to Utah, play Weber State Division I in a preseason opener out that way in an exhibition. And our women's team worked really hard. Coach Robertson putting together a great trip out to the Pacific Northwest, her backyard, and playing some of the top Division III Pacific Northwest teams. And so both programs are real excited. Wrestling team has a full schedule, Jim. We've always had a kind of a club wrestling hybrid here. Now we've got a full-fledged wrestling program, and they've bit off a big schedule, and excited to see them go and get it done too.
From a facilities standpoint, Jason, tell the folks tuning in today, where you guys stand on facilities and what are the future priorities, perhaps?
Well, we're in the
athletic facilities.
Yeah, so we're in the process of, there's still a university campaign that goes on at the development level, which is above the athletic department level, and they're doing a phenomenal job. Part of that is our stadium project, and the word is we're very close. Now, I'm not the one, making those decisions, because if it was up to me, I'd be like, let's build it, right? But, we got to find the money. So the development people are finding the money, making relationships with the right people. My job is to make sure we look like we know what we're doing, and that our athletes are having a great time. And if they're having a great time, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to as an administration, and we can put on a good event like this football game, we're going to attract the right kids, we're going to attract the right donors. So we're excited to hopefully break ground on the stadium here shortly. We've got some site prep work to be done at the tune of $500,000, and then we've got the money for the stadium, but we're still trying to raise. So any donors who want to step up, we're trying to raise about $500,000 right now to start on the site work, and then our very gracious donors ready to put the money down on the stadium. We've got a tennis facility upgrade coming on right away. The money's in hand and the plans are done, and we'll be building a nice facility for tennis, which is a pavilion to go against or with the current wonderful tennis courts we have. So those are the current facility updates, and excited that hopefully some of those things will come together soon.
And again, we have to remember the fields here at Southern Virginia University have really only been in use for a year or two now. Do you get a lot of feedback from folks who come in, opposing schools, their thoughts? Because it's great facilities and great views.
So Ty Hyatt's offensive coordinator here for Frostburg, former offensive coordinator for Southern Virginia, and it was great to shake his hand at the beginning of the game. And he says, you guys got to use this to your advantage. And I was kind of taken back, like, okay, how does this take to our advantage? And he says, well, it's not the norm. That was a nice way of saying that, you don't really have a stadium. But he said, he says, take it to your advantage.
Yep.
It's your little backyard, home field kind of atmosphere. You love it. Other teams feel like it's kind of different, and maybe they don't prepare as well as they should for the great fighting nights. And so I think some folks in the NJAC and the CAC, I think they have other facilities on a little bit higher level than us, but what we do have is a great atmosphere. We actually, I can't speak for the NJAC because I haven't gone to all the away NJAC games, but I've been to a lot of away CAC games. We outdraw most teams in the CAC, Jim. I'll tell you that. I mean, maybe basketball being a little bit of an exception because bigger facilities than our basketball facility. But at least on this field, as I compete as a lacrosse program home and away, and some of the soccer teams, we draw very well. And that's a tribute to the great fan base we have here. So I think as we build it, they will come. I think if we get our stadium put in, definitely, we'll see even bigger crowds. We're looking forward to the relationship, Jim. We're building with the Buena Vista folks, too. We've gone out and reached out, and we've got all our local vendors here. Only Buena Vista vendors. No offense to Lexington, but we love our local Buena Vista business.
That's the way to go.
And we're bringing them up here, not charging them to make sure that they know how much we appreciate them. And they're making money. Our fans are getting some good quality food and a great atmosphere. So we're trying to do it right here. There's no doubt that the ambiance, the beauty of this area, it was set before we even dropped the field. And so we have a beautiful atmosphere. We have a great field. Now it's about, adding the stadium component to kind of put it all together. And we're close. We're really close.
14-0 your score at halftime. Jason, we'll take a little break here in just a few seconds. But last question, what kind of final message would you have for parents out there watching today, or perhaps maybe for those who are considering Southern Virginia University down the road?
We're finishing year 4 of the NCAA provisional process. That means how you go from a non-NCAA into the NCAA situation. Mm-hmm. We're still young in that process as an athletic department, and every team is still also new to this process. But I can tell you what we do have. We have a bunch of great young men and young women who love to battle together. And what we need is time. We need that maturation process that comes from, I showed up as a freshman. I kind of played a little. Sophomore, I played half the game. Junior, I started. And senior, I was all conference. Yeah. Well, if we keep playing all these freshmen and sophomores, we're going to wear them out. Well, right now, we're doing the best we can with what we got. But the message to the folks out here, we're going to provide a great athletic experience, from the athletic training room to the weight room to the academic support to the streaming experience to the fields to the trainers to the coaches. The athlete experience is going to be great. We were building a process where the athletes that we can attract want to stay here long enough to pay off in this reward process of eventually, over time, those athletes will become strong enough and good enough to help us win in these great conferences. Because that's the truth of it. You can't just bring in young people and put a uniform on them and play in this conference. They have to season through each year to get ready that as a junior, senior, they're going to make a difference. And we're getting close. I know my team is. My best players now, this will be their 3rd year with me, and they haven't left. All right? And that's the only way we're going to make it, is if every team, the majority of those playing, I don't care what sport it is, the majority of those kids playing, if they've been here more than a year, more than 2 years, you can almost attribute the win to that statistic alone. So.
Boy, when you think about spring sports, hopefully next February you guys don't have so many snowouts.
Yeah, no control over that. Yeah, baseball, softball, they have it the worst. I feel so bad for those guys. Well, I just make my guys get out here. Get out. We're going. Rain, snow, we're going.
Well, Jason, good luck to you guys.
Thanks, Jim, for all you do.
Okay. Jason Lamb, once again, athletic director here at Southern Virginia University. Halftime score, it is Frostburg 14, SVU nothing. We'll come back for second half action in just a few minutes. Jim Bresnahan, Art Furler back here at the fields at Southern Virginia University. First home football game for the Knights. First game in the Athletic Conference, New Jersey Athletic Conference here in 2015. Halftime score, Art, it is 14-0 Frostburg on top.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse, I think, is the way to start it. We talked a little bit about the blocked field goal, which, frankly, even that it was a field goal attempt was a great thing. I think it was first and goal from the 5. The Knights able to make a great goal line stand and force the field goal attempt, then blocking it, great. And then, of course, to me, the highlight of the game so far is that stopped fake field goal attempt there at the end. The Knights able to run out of bounds at the 1, blocking, I think it was Nick Rosati maybe, able to stop him from converting and keeping it to 14. So
giving, Frostburg just had so many opportunities in that first half. Sooner or later, they were able to break through with a couple of touchdowns, and the Knights just really could never. They got a few first downs, just never really could put together, I guess, a good offensive effort, and that's going to have to change if they want to stay in this ball game here in the second half.
Yeah, and the Knights really just need a little bit of offense. I feel like this is exactly what we talked about last year a lot as well, is the defense holding strong and the offense just needing a little bit more to put together. And we're exactly in that same place now, where the Knights defense really doing everything they can to keep them in this game and just need a little bit of help from the offense to put some drives together and both to give them some rest and also to equalize that scoreboard.
And the Knights will kick off to get the second half underway. And Art, we saw both quarterbacks in there for the Knights in the first half. We saw Honeycutt and we saw Jensen, and we'll see who we see here in the third quarter at quarterback eventually, as the Knights again will kick off to begin the second half, kicking off to the Bobcats.
Good kick.
Comes down to around the 5-yard line. Almost trickeration. And the return man falls
down.
down.
Looks like he's down on contact.
27-yard line. Trying a little trickeration. Faking a handoff on that kickoff and returning it back to the 27-yard line. Yeah,
the reverse on the kickoff return is something else Delane I know is a bit of a predilection for, but in this case faking it.
When he was here at SVU, he loved to go with the triple flea flicker option pass. So I wouldn't be surprised to see one of those eventually.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, they're crowd favorites too. It's not only does it confuse the defense, it takes a long time to set up. That's why you don't see them as often, but they're a lot of fun to watch.
27-yard line is where Frostburg will start this drive, this first drive of the second half. Could be their worst starting field position all day long.
Very true, and by a wide margin.
And Lovat gets the carry, and he gets good yardage up the middle for about 5 yards to the 32-yard line. Yeah, Evan Lovat, he scored their first touchdown today.
A lot of ground and pound from Frostburg State today. They're playing that Stanford kind of offense where it's just, we're going to line up, we're bigger than you, we're going to push for just a few yards every time, and then just when you get comfortable with that, they're going to mix it up and either throw something downfield or out of the backfield.
2nd and 5. Wildcat quarterback is in there now, and he hands
sweep.
the football off to Bonsal, and he goes nowhere. Great defensive play put on by Joel Bergman.
Got right into the backfield and blew that play up. That's exactly what you have to do on the jet sweep, is get in the way. That man in motion has got a head of steam. That's his advantage. So if you can get in there and stop that, you can really disrupt the play.
Now we'll see if they throw with Connor Cox back in there at quarterback on a 3rd down and 7. The ball back at the 30-yard line.
Been calling Joel Bergman's name a few times today. He's done a great job. Scott Laxton as well. Just met his parents here from Orem, Utah. Met them at the half. Good to see folks out supporting as well.
And they throw across the middle. Man wide open for a first down catch at the 40-yard line. And eventually pushed back, but not until Burgess makes the catch, and it's a first down for Frostburg at the 40. You know, Frostburg had a few drops in that first half, dropped a touchdown pass, a potential touchdown pass.
Yeah, break for Southern Virginia there in the first half, but that time again, not so much on the yards after carry. The Knights seem to shore that up a little bit, but really got to get in those passing lanes as well. Either get a better rush on the quarterback or tighter coverage in the secondary.
41-yard line. Lovat bounces it outside, gets away from the cornerback, hits to the 50, and is rammed out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Southern Virginia as Watterson makes the play, but we may have a holding call coming up here against Frostburg, it looks like.
Yeah, big hit by Watterson, but I think you're right. The ref signaling that way. We'll get the confirmation here in just a second.
Yeah, Frostburg's had their share of penalties. turnovers along the way, drop passes, and they are still on top here by 14. So holding against the Bobcats wipes out a great gain by Lovat.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, sometimes you have to wonder if the penalty was necessary. Was the play going to be blown up anyway, or was it just gratuitous? Either way, takes away a big gain, 10-yard loss, certainly not worth it.
And it pushes Frostburg back to their own 32-yard line.
5 wideouts. Probably not a run play.
Beckford's the quarterback. He wants to throw a quick pass to Wood, who makes the grab. Breaks the tackle. He's to the 50, spins to the 40, and he's down near the 38-yard line of Southern Virginia. Antonio Wood spinning out of a tackle and suddenly exploding downfield.
That's that yards after contact that I was talking about earlier. When you first get to the man, you have got to at least stop him until help can come. In that case, that quick out route caught the Knights off guard, unable to adjust back to it.
And Art, if that tackle is made, and we'd have to see it on replay, but if it was made, that would have been a 3 or 4 yard, no more than a 5-yard pickup, I think.
Yeah, absolutely true. Unfortunately, because of that contact, became much bigger gain. Looks like there's an injured Knight down on the field.
And
that's number
up.
22, Joel Bergman, we were just talking about. He's been a big playmaker so far for the Knights.
Good to see him getting up and maybe walking off under his own power.
See if we can get a replay of that now and see maybe what happened to him also, as you mentioned, that first contact. And here we go.
Yeah, you see this. It's going to be a short game, maybe 4 or 5 yards, if they can tackle him right around the 36, 37-yard line. But he breaks free and ends up actually picking up an additional 25 yards or so.
Yeah, kind of rolls up a bit on the end of there. Looks like they're checking shoulders. Went down hard on that right shoulder, it looked like.
First down. Here's Lovat on a straight draw play up the middle, and he's all the way inside the 25, and he's down near the 21 of the Knights.
And this is where those 2 to 3 yard plays at the beginning of the game were turning into 4 to 5 yard plays approaching the end of the first half, and now extending even more. Knights reeling a little bit. They've really got to pull it together and start digging in their heels again, just like they did on that first attempted touchdown drive.
Right at the end of the first half, Bobcats had it down to the 1 yard line, chose to go for a fake field goal, could not score. It stayed 14-0 at halftime, and now the Bobcats are driving. They've got a first down at the 21-yard line of Southern Virginia.
Lone back.
And it's going to be play action, and the quarterback Cox will take it, and he is all the way down close to the 11-yard line of the Knights. Gain of nearly 10.
Yeah, that pocket has been way too comfortable for Cox as well as the other quarterbacks coming in from Frostburg. Knights have really got to find a way to make some penetration in there, create some contact. You can tell the difference when the Knights are able to get into that backfield and break up plays. Frostburg not as good at adapting, but when they can run it as planned.
And Lovat will run it this time. He's got a first down. He's down to the 5, and he's inside the 5, close to the 2. It's first and goal, Frostburg.
So there we go again. The Knights unable to go in they've got to find some way to disrupt the play call. They've got to find some way, whether it's jamming the receiver at the line, finding a way to break up the pass route. In that case, they need to find a way to make contact in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage. You can't let them get 3 or 4 yards before that first contact comes, or you're already fighting a losing battle.
Ball is at the 3. Ramsey's the fullback, and Lovat is the tailback, and the quarterback, Cox, now under center on first and goal from the 3-yard line.
Yeah, that strong left eye again, right to the tailback.
Lovat
Fumble, maybe not.
Dropped the ball and rolled ahead.
Looked like he made it.
His knee went down around the 2, though, even though he rolled close to the end zone.
Looked like he bobbled it, but also you could hear the Knights sideline screaming ball. The big indication of a fumble from their point of view as well.
So the ball now at the 2-yard line.
Well, the Knights have had some great stops today, being able to hold here in the red zone, and the red zone within the 5. Let's see if they can do it again.
See if Lovat gets it, or maybe the fullback this time. It's going to be Lovat up the middle, and he is into the end zone for the 3rd Frostburg touchdown of the day.
And looks like
that's his 2nd score of the day, too.
Yeah, it's just that ground and pound, that couple of yards every time, and if they're able to get a couple of yards before contact, when you get that close to the goal, it's just gonna convert. You just keep pushing it, and eventually it breaks through.
And now Isaac Robinson for the extra point try.
That's going to be a false start. Look like on the left side of the line moved. Oh, offsides on the Knights, excuse me.
See if that makes any change in the decision by Frostburg to go for 2 or just kick the extra point. Looks like they're going to go ahead and just kick.
Yeah, in the first half, I would have said definitely stick with the extra point. Not really moving the ball as successfully as they have so far here in the second, but they're going to opt to stick with it anyway.
And Robinson's kick is right through to make it 21-0.
I half expected Delane to redeem himself for the fake field goal with a fake extra point there with the half the distance opportunity, but not doing so, making it 21-0. The Knights now with their, I believe, the first offensive opportunity here in the second half.
And we'll see if it's going to be Jensen at quarterback or Honeycutt. It was Honeycutt in the first quarter and Jensen mainly in the second period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4.5-minute drive there to start off the second half. As you mentioned, by far the worst field position for Frostburg, which is a good thing, making them go down the field there. And certainly between halftime and then that, Knights offense, I'm sure, is eager to get going.
So it's 21-0. Knights will be on the road the next 2 weeks at Salisbury next Saturday and 2 weeks from today playing at Wesley before they return October the 10th for homecoming against Montclair State.
Yeah, Montclair played spoiler for the Knights last year at homecoming, and I know the Knights would like to get a little bit of revenge on that, having them back here on the calendar for homecoming again this year.
Speaking of which, November the 7th, I know the Knights will be on the road at the College of New Jersey, and of course that was their big New Jersey Athletic Conference victory last season against New Jersey, the College of New Jersey. Just 4 home games on the schedule, we mentioned. A short kickoff,
short kick
off the side of the foot. Fair catch called for and made by the Knights at the 33-yard line.
Good job
as
by
Watts makes that play.
Yeah, stepping up, getting underneath that one. That's particularly difficult when you've got to move so far for that. Also when you're not expecting it. Way to get underneath it, corral it, keep it together, particularly since we've seen both teams be a little sloppy with the football so far today.
As we can see, Crosby Jensen will be coming in there at quarterback, along with Watts at tailback. And the Knights will start this drive at their own 33. A little different look in the backfield for the Knights on 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. Jensen hands the football off to Watts, and he'll end up picking up about almost 4 yards up near the 37.
Kind of a delayed off tackle that time, going up the right-hand side there. That's all you need, a few yards per play, particularly as we're getting, you're starting to get into the second half. You want to make sure you start getting into a rhythm. That's something the Knights have struggled with so far today. They've been able to string a few plays together, but you've really got to string a few first downs together in order to get that offense clicking. The Knights hoping to get that started here. 2nd
down 6 for Southern Virginia, 37-yard line of the Knights.
That same formation, Twins left.
Jensen hands it off again to Watts. This time he runs into the defensive line for Frostburg and goes down right away near the 35-yard line. He'll lose at least a yard, maybe 2. And for Frostburg making the play, it was Jonathan Galinas, big inside player. And now, Art, it is 3rd down and long coming up here for the Knights.
Yeah,
Makeable, but you wonder if they're going to have to go to the air now. 3rd down and about 7, almost 8 yards to go.
It's true. The Knights have had a pretty consistent ground game, but 3 or 4 yards of play. They really haven't broken many big ones so far. Lakeith Hopkins and Clayton Trover in. They do go to the air.
And the quarterback fires. It's intercepted by Frostburg on the far side, and the defender goes right down the sidelines and scores. Josh Washington. We'll have to look at that one again. It looked like the receiver tried to grab him and then let go.
Yeah, they read that one quite a while there.
They were trying to throw over to the left to Pearson. initially. There was another receiver over there, too. That was Kessinger. Kessinger couldn't grab him before he went down the sidelines.
Yeah, clean initial push-off as well within 5 yards by the defender, and then actually wasn't even the guy he ended up throwing to. It was just a great job jumping the route by the defender that time, Josh Washington, reading the eyes of the quarterback and moving in to intercept.
And suddenly 27-0. Frostburg scoring 13 points in just a little over 6 minutes.
Do have a downed player on the field there for Frostburg. We'll get a number for you as soon as we can.
So this game was close at halftime, 14-0, and now 27-0 for Frostburg. That pass just ill-advised, sailed over the head of the receiver right into the defender's hands, Art, and then clear sailing down the right sideline for the defender who made the interception, Josh Washington, a sophomore defensive back for Frostburg.
Well, that's what's so difficult about the pick six as well, is you've got a young quarterback who throws the interception, it comes back and converts for a touchdown, and then you're going to have to go right back out on the field and shake that off because you're going to be back on offense immediately and in a situation where your team needs you even more now than they did before.
And again, it was only a 2-score game at halftime, but now it's 4 touchdowns. Frostburg getting its first defensive score of the game.
Yeah, and the Knights starting to show signs of wear from the first half. Really,
Defense spent a lot of time on the field in the first half.
they have indeed, and that's where you can see that that wear and tear starting to come. As I mentioned earlier, having 2 to 3 yard plays becoming 4 to 5, now becoming 7 to 8, and that's where it gets really difficult because so many things quickly, first downs pile up, mistakes pile up, and all of a sudden points pile up as well, which is exactly what we started to see.
And the Knights offensively, they were trying to come out here in the second half with a short passing game and also trying to establish that running game, then tried to go downfield and had the pick six.
Still not sure about the number of the injured player, but
Looks to be on the line, obviously, that part of the field on the pass play.
yeah, and they're definitely taking their time on this, seeing if making sure he's well cared for, that the injury isn't compounded, and trying to get him off the field quickly. We'll look at a replay here, see if we can see what happened.
Looks like maybe somebody flipped over somebody towards where the blocking was taking place.
Yeah, definitely back in the area where the quarterback went down.
And now the player getting up, it's a player from Southern Virginia. It might be the quarterback, Jensen. It is.
Yeah, understandable. Took a hard shot on that one. And once, as a quarterback, once you throw that interception, all of a sudden you become a defensive player, and it is, you are fair game a lot more than previously.
Possibly also got hit just as he was releasing the ball. Good to see him coming off the field. Looks like maybe his right arm, Art.
Yeah, they are cradling the arm a bit and shoulder, but of course we hate to speculate.
So Frostburg getting set up here for the extra point try, trying to make it a 28-0 ball game.
As we mentioned, we've had a couple of quarterbacks already play today, so it looks like this means some extra playing time now for Honeycutt.
And the extra point try is through, and Frostburg now is on top here 28-0. Well, we'll see if it's Honeycutt or maybe they go to a third quarterback today.
Yeah, they do have a couple others on the roster. I know Jacob Hatch, freshman, is listed as a quarterback on there, that he may see some playing time as well. And of course, we wish Crosby and his family the best. Hope things work out. It's nothing too severe for him.
Knights trail here 28-0. Again, they'll be on the road in the next 2 weeks. At Salisbury coming up next Saturday, 1 o'clock, and then at Wesley 2 weeks from today at 1 o'clock. The next homecoming game against Montclair 3 weeks from today on October the 10th. And again, we've got soccer coming up Tuesday and Wednesday. Women's soccer against Averett on Tuesday night. Wednesday night, men's soccer against Bridgewater. And then, Art, you and Mike will have volleyball coming up on Thursday. First volleyball webcast of the 2015 athletic season.
Yeah, volleyball, I think so far this season has been the most successful team that Southern Virginia's had, coming off a really great season last year, and interesting that they're doing as well as they are. We have a new coach, we have a lot of new players, and despite the turnover, still the Knights doing a great job putting it together. Good job from the returners, really keeping that trend for the Knights.
John Harris, Lakeith Hopkins, they are the deep return men on this kickoff for the Knights, who now trail 28-0 here in the third period.
So now down a quarterback, the Knights really going to have to get together and start making something happen offensively.
Frostburg with 2 touchdowns in the second half here in the third quarter so far. That kickoff sails over Lakeith Hopkins' head in and out of the end zone.
Nothing wrong with that. Smart call that time. You see a lot of white jerseys down there. Sometimes when you're down 28 points and you lose your starting quarterback, you start feeling concerned. You really start heading into desperation mode. Like every play you have to make a touchdown. So it's good to see that time Lakeith making the smart play, letting that one bounce out, getting the touchback, not trying to play hero ball, but just playing smart, controlled football.
Knights back onto the field. It'll be Honeycutt at quarterback, with Watts the tailback. Knights scored 10 points 2 weeks ago in the season opener at Rhodes, and trying to get on the scoreboard here in the third quarter against Frostburg.
Going trips left here.
Hand off to Watts, bounces off one tackler, goes to the left side, finds room, and is rolled out of bounds near the 38-yard line.
Yeah, dangerous to reverse your field like that, but good to see Watts making the smart decision to do that. Concerning, though, kept that ball in his right hand, and you could see the defender hammering at it, trying to cause the fumble. Really need to switch that ball to your outside arm for safety's sake.
So big first down pickup by the Knights right off the bat. We'll see if they can take this ball downfield, get on the scoreboard in an effort to get back in this football game, down now by 28 points. Honeycutt takes it back from Watts, throws on the run, has his receiver. Lorenzen makes the catch. He goes down at the 50 and picks up another Knights first down.
Boy, that was a smart call by Honeycutt. It was very confusing. Looked like his running back really wanted that ball kind of spinning off, and he was not going to let go of it on that option. Decides to keep it, and we'll see the replay right here. Decides to keep it, roll outside, and then keeping his head, throwing the pass, finding Lorenzen. Great job that time.
Pickup of 12, first down Knights. Right shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
Big first down, too. You get a different quarterback in the game.
Good to see the ground game, and their running back, it is Watts again, stumbles and falls and loses maybe 2 yards.
Yeah, I hate to see that to start off the new set of downs, but again, still converting that first down is big for Southern Virginia to try to get some momentum going, try to string some first downs together. Be even better if they can get down to the other side of the field here.
They lost 2 on that play back to the 47, so it's 2nd and 12. Honeycutt has Watts in the backfield with him, and I believe it's Hopkins from the 47-yard line. Honeycutt wants to throw up the right side. No one out there, had to throw in a hurry, had a man in his face, and now it's 3rd and 12.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. Not sure what you never want to have 2 receivers in the same place for a long period of time. You can allow the defenders to double cover you, but in that case, not sure whether it was the Knights that were confused on their route running or whether they were blocked into it perhaps by the secondary of Frostburg. But now brings up 3rd and 12.
Key here will be for the receivers to get downfield past the first down marker. They have to get to the 41 of Frostburg to pick up a first down.
Oh, and they're going to call false start on that one. Looked like that was just trying to get a good stance. Kind of fell back on the heels a little bit, the left end.
That's really big, Art, because there's a big difference when you're throwing between 3rd and 17 and 3rd and 12.
Yeah, that's a huge problem there.
So now the ball's back at the 42 of the Knights, and again they have to get to the 41 of Frostburg to get a first down. So it's 3rd and 17.
Looks like that's going to change up the play call as well. As you can see, the defense by Frostburg State definitely sitting a lot back in coverage.
3 receivers over to the left. Burge, Pearson, and Lorenzen all out there. Honeycutt to throw.
And they come
Has
hard
time.
again.
Fires on the run. It is going to be almost picked off and off the hands and almost caught by Pearson, but they'll rule it as an incomplete pass, and now it's 4th and long.
Yeah, interesting there. See if we can get a replay of that. That almost looked like Solomon Riddell actually had it go off of his hands up into the air. They're saying
Must
it
have
was
hit the ball or hit the ground before after he missed
Yeah.
the interception, I'm going to guess.
We'll see right
and then
here.
bounced off the ground
Hit when he's
right into
thrown.
Pearson. Yep, it bounced off the ground there.
Ooh, very close. Almost a fortuitous bounce off the arms of the defender for Southern Virginia. And the ref's talking something over. I could be wrong. It looks like he's signaling. I mean, that's typically the signal for contact with the ground. I wonder if they saw that differently. We'll get the explanation.
I don't know. On the replay, it looked like it definitely bounced off of the defender, hit the ground, and then bounced up.
Yeah.
Wow. They rule a completed pass. Wow.
Yeah, but see, that's a really unfortunate whistle because if no whistle's blown, that he's got open pastures. That's a touchdown. But yeah, it definitely looked like it bounced. I thought he had his arms under it in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what the call ultimately is.
And Pearson makes the catch, gets credit for it.
So lucky.
And as you mentioned, if the whistle doesn't blow, of course he looked like he thought the ball hit the ground. When he caught it, it
Right.
looked like, this is not going to be a catch. I'm not going to do anything with it.
Oh, sure, but no. I'm not sure where on that play the whistle occurred either. If the whistle occurred when the ball hit the ground, of course he's going to think that. You never know.
Yeah, so the Knights have now their deepest penetration on offense down to the 38-yard line of Frostburg.
Yeah, so the lucky bounce, the unlucky whistle, it all works out. But the Knights certainly with an opportunity now to drive the ball. See what they can put together offensively at this point.
Still enough time to make a comeback here, down by 28 though. 7 minutes left in the third, 22 in the game.
Yeah, well, and especially little things like that can do a lot to turn both the momentum and the feeling of that game. It can give you a lot of confidence to be moving the ball, whether it's by your own effort, whether you call it luck, you call it whatever. It's still a heads-up play to see that ball coming. And I'm guessing, yeah, Coach Walker right there really wanting an explanation from the referee because that whistle essentially cost the Knights 7 points.
Love to go back and check that replay again too, because again, it looked like did it look like to you, Art, the ball hit the ground?
It's tough to tell.
Yep.
We do have replay. Big shout out to our broadcast crew for getting us instant replay. We don't have the ability to slow-mo it yet, though.
Or zoom, right?
Right.
Here's Jared Watts over the right side, and he's got a couple to the 36 before he's gang tackled by the Bobcats.
Yeah, sharp cut, though, to get upfield just a little bit by Watts, not giving up on that play.
Pickup of about 2. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Knights at the 36-yard line of Frostburg.
Yeah, we're not quite ESPN caliber to have 6 different camera angles and slow and everything else, but on the replay we did see, you could argue that it went off the hands or the forearms. You could argue that it went off the ground, but certainly a referee, if he's willing to call it that firmly to overturn it, he saw it. And there's the reverse pass.
They'll throw it down the field or try to, and instead it is Nathan Wilson having to eat the football. They were going to throw down the right side, Art, but Frostburg able to get enough defenders in there to stop that pass from happening.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, trickeration, we have a Knight who is down as well.
That might be Wilson, the player who got the pitch and was trying to throw down the right side. He just never really had a chance, Art, to set up over on the right side and look downfield for a potential target.
Yeah, complex enough. And
Wilson, a freshman, 6'1", 175 from Utah.
It is
good
Wilson.
to see him get up
Yep.
under his own power.
But yeah, it was tricky enough. Lost our cameraman on that one. And yeah, he's looks to be shaken up on the play, but nothing odd in his gait. Seems to be swinging his arms. Those are all good things. Means joints tend to be okay.
You being a former wide receiver, right?
Yeah, well, defensive back mainly, but yeah.
Okay. So you know about these things about coming off the field under your own power.
Yeah, well, it's a big difference between not coming off under your own power and coming off, and there's also a big difference between coming off under your own power and looking like a normal person's gait, a normal walk.
47-yard line of Frostburg. Third down long. Honeycutt rolling, and he's going to be pressured to hit from the blind side, the backside, and get sacked. And the Knights, who had the ball at the 36-yard line, looking at second down and 8, now have the ball back in their own territory and are going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, Lyle Fugatti coming in on that one for Frostburg. Offensive line for the Knights has really struggled in giving enough time to the quarterbacks, giving them protection enough to set up in the pocket, or frankly, even outside the pocket. We saw last time with Wilson on the gimmick play.
Knights just lost 20 yards those last two plays. They were at the 36 of Frostburg. Now they're back at their 44.
Deep man back to return, Austin Bonsall for Frostburg State.
Good athlete. But the Knights have been getting good punting all afternoon long. Ball to the 15-yard line, back to the 25-yard line. Good return for Bonsall down the left side. No flags. 50. He may go. And it may be an 85-yard punt return by Bonsall. It is. I don't see any flags out there, so.
I don't either. And again, that's the second time that right back where the right at the initial catch, there's been an apparent block in the back that wasn't called. Looks like.
Unless we've got a call, unless we got a flag on the field.
They are calling something.
Looks like it's going to come back, fortunately for the Knights. It was the block in the back.
Yeah, big.
So the first time it didn't get called, this time it gets called against the Bobcats.
Yeah, we'll see it right here. It's called on number 20.
Right there.
Oh, there it was. I think it was actually number 26. It should have been.
Spencer Butler was the Knight who got pushed in the back.
Yeah, and just like the first time, that's a key block too, because that man can not only make the tackle, but at least slow him down to allow the Knights to adjust to that route to the outside.
Yep.
So great catch that time by the refereeing crew.
So now the ball is at the 13-yard line. That's where the Bobcats will start leading here, 28-0 in the third period.
A new worst starting field position for them as well. Setting up the throw, looking long.
Cox trying to hit Antonio Wood. He's all over the defender. That's got to be offensive pass interference, I think.
Yeah, it looked like he had a hand pulling on the back of the jersey.
Christopher Owens had great coverage. He had the inside position on the play for the Knights.
Boy, and talk about a mismatch in height that time. You've got a 5'9" Christopher Owens D'ing up a 6'1" Antonio Wood.
And you have to watch that again because Wood was on his back for a good 3 or 4 seconds, it looked to me.
Yeah, there was a lot of pulling. We'll get the referee right here.
Yep. But good coverage downfield again by Christopher Owens, the freshman defensive back.
Yeah, it is offensive pass interference. We'll see that again right here. So it's the pair at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, you see Owens with a good inside position.
Hand on the, look at that pulling of the jersey the whole way.
He was on him for about 10 yards.
Yeah. Yep. Good catch by the referee that time again. and that'll back him up even more.
And you're right, it is a mismatch out there just from a height standpoint. Owens is 5'9" and Wood is 6'1", so he's given away about 4 inches or so.
Well, and a lot of times what people don't realize is giving up 4 inches in height means you're giving up probably another 2 or 3 in wingspan as well, which makes a big difference.
Now the ground game for Frostburg after that offensive pass interference call.
Great stuff by the Knights that time. And you deserve to slap your jersey right that time, Dallin Breen, getting into the backfield. That's what we were talking about, blowing up plays, because if the offense is able to execute as they would like to, they're going to create a gap. That's the whole point of any play on offense. It's to create space for the guy with the ball. So if you're able to get in and break that up, make him improvise, make him find another way to do it, the advantage is then yours.
Cox with a quick pass. He hits his tight end, who then gets banged. Great defensive play by Watterson again, hitting the tight end for Frostburg.
Nick Watterson just comes flying in on that one. We'll see that again right here.
Aaron
I'm glad
Turner.
we don't have slow-mo because boom.
Oh, right in the chest. Aaron Turner making the catch. Short gain for Frostburg.
And here's what I love about that play. Not only was it a big hit, but he wraps him up. If he doesn't go down from the initial contact, he's still not getting away. That was a beautiful form tackle. You can lay the lumber on the hit and still tackle properly.
So now it's 3rd down for Frostburg.
Trips left. Knights showing blitz.
Cox wants to throw. He's pressured out of the pocket. Gets away momentarily. Malore chases him, and
Got
he's hit
him.
and knocked down to the 16-yard line.
The Knights-
Great defensive play by the Knights. Again, Scott Laxton coming up and making the play.
Yeah, Laxton rushing in on that one. Boy, the Knights defense has just come alive in the last few plays. What a great job coming in, because he doesn't make that stop. There's a real good chance that Frostburg State rushes for a first down that time, instead creating 4th and 8, forcing the punt, keeping the Knights alive.
Knights have defensively only surrendered 3 touchdowns. That 4th touchdown on the board right there, again, was accounted by the Frostburg defense with an interception return.
So that was an odd formation that time by Frostburg State. Blown dead.
So Goditis is in there to punt. Referee's talking it over here.
And we'll see what the call is. No foul.
So they'll punt it again, or attempt to.
Yeah, there's that very wide formation.
There comes the kick.
Boy, there was a lot of movement on the offensive line there for no penalty.
And it's picked up by the Knights. Are they going to rule fair catch?
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. It was a
Kessinger made the catch and started to run with it. And if it's a fair catch, would that be a flag, trying to run with the ball?
yeah.
I never saw Kessinger raise his arm signaling fair catch.
It's true. It would have had to been a very early signal if that's the call. There's been a lot of flags in this game so far. Gotta give the referee something to do, though.
Like explain things to each other? So no foul called, invalid fair catch
Invalid
signal,
fair
and
catch
the Knights
signal.
will take it right there at the 42-yard line.
I've only seen an invalid fair catch signal if it's late. I've never seen one early, but
Right,
I
yeah.
assume that's what that was. I'm not sure on that.
First down Knights, just shy of their own 43. Lakeith Hopkins will try the left side and go nowhere, and he's stacked up for about a half-yard loss.
Yeah, not a particularly clean handoff that time by Honeycutt. Looks like the Knights are spending a little bit too much time running east and west and not north and south, or at least not exploding to the side there.
Well, against Rhodes, the Knights only had 140 yards rushing, averaged just under 2 yards a carry. Trying to turn that around today against Frostburg.
Yeah, it's going to set up 2nd and 10.
Hopkins will stay in there as the tailback. Watts has been in the tailback position most of the afternoon. And Hopkins will get the carry again, goes right up the middle, got to the 44, and that's about all, maybe a yard.
Yeah, it's another one of those scenarios where it looks like Hopkins saw the gap but just didn't explode through it. The gaps are going to come and go very quickly, so if you've got one, you need to explode through it and get up the field. That time just not, I don't know whether it collapsed on him too quickly or what, but really got to turn it upfield and get through there quickly. I've been more impressed with Watt's ability to do that so far than I have with Hopkins.
3rd and 9, throwing situation here for the Knights.
Yeah, and you can see again, looks like Frostburg's coming at him.
Let's see if the quarterback has time to throw for a receiver. It's a blitz, it's a screen pass. Pass pulled in by Harris, and he's knocked out near the 50.
Yeah, it was a great check down that time. Honeycutt saw that Frostburg was coming, looked to his check down receiver, and is able to complete it outside there to Harris.
And the Knights are able to get a first down out of it and control the football with 53 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, once again, huge play that time by the Knights, able to convert now past midfield, trying to keep things moving.
Harris going to stay in there in the backfield alongside the quarterback Honeycutt on 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line of Frostburg. Harris, no, it's going to be Honeycutt over the right side. He took a shot at the 44, goes down right there. He got double teamed and sandwiched.
Yeah, it was a big pop that time. Looks like Graham Broschart able to connect with him, but Honeycutt snaps back up.
Picked up about 3, and that should be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Let's see if the clock's going to run out here.
Yep, looks like unsnapping the chin strap, going to go over and have a conversation. So Southern Virginia gives up 14 in the first half, 14 there in the 3rd quarter.
And 3 of the scores were for Frostburg's offense, 1 from their defense. And they'll start this 4th quarter, Art, on top here 28-0. And if you're the Knights, you're just thinking right now, let's get on the scoreboard before this game ends.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing. It's not it's not a bad mentality to have, because your first goal should be get on the scoreboard. Once you do that, you move on to the next goal of closing the gap and things like that. But right now, the offense just has to get clicking, and that's the first and best way to indicate that is put some points on the board.
And again, 2 tough road games are coming up for the Knights in the next 2 weeks. Next Saturday at Salisbury, and then even a tougher opponent, obviously top 5 team in the nation, 2 weeks from today playing at Wesley.
Yeah, definitely some difficult road games coming up. There's a shot. You can see, I don't know the gentleman on the right, but the guy on the left there, Tyler Condiff,
yep.
Former Southern Virginia University coach, left with Coach Fitzgerald, also I believe a Southern Virginia graduate. And
good lineman a few years ago.
Yeah, played at Southern Virginia as well, and we'll just give a shout out on the broadcast. Also a new father. So congratulations to him and his wife, Carly.
Knights are going to start the 4th quarter with the football at the 44-yard line of Frostburg. 2nd down, about 7 to go. Harris gets the call again, up the middle. Nice gain all the way to the 35. Runs over the safety, gets down close to the 32 of Frostburg.
Yeah, that's one of the best runs so far today so far. Harris that time 5'5", 160, able to get low, break through the line there. And that's one thing you don't realize a lot of times about small backs is it can be so hard to see them, keep track of them as they're going through the line there. That time able to just squeeze right through and get up for a big gain for Southern Virginia.
The ball near the 33-yard line now of Frostburg. Here's Lorenzen in motion. Harris again outside. Now cuts it back inside. Great move by Harris to go back inside, and he goes all the way near first down yardage around the 23 of Frostburg.
Yeah, Harris so far really impressive on this series. It's going to come out after that one, but his yards per carry very, very impressive over the last couple.
Up almost 25 yards last 2 carries.
Yeah, and immediately getting congratulated by Watts on the sideline. Good to see that.
Picked up almost 8 that time. 2nd down and short coming up for the Knights.
And 2nd and 2 is such a good situation to be in. It's manageable. You can take a shot if you want to. You can just go for the short yardage and move the chains. It's so much more of a comfortable situation to be in than the Knights have had today.
Lakeith Hopkins gets the carry on 2nd down and short. Didn't get a whole lot. Got to the 22. Didn't need much, of course, Art, for the first down pickup.
And we'll see if he got that.
Knights trying to get on the scoreboard here in the 4th quarter, trailing 28-0. They mark him just inside the 23.
So not quite the first down, now 3rd down.
Blocking back is Mackay, and Honeycutt, quarterback, gives it off to Hopkins again. He's got the first down this time inside the 20, down near the 17 of the Bobcats.
Boy, that backside pressure was coming very, very hard. It's a good thing that was not an option kept by Honeycutt, or he would have been in a very, very painful place. Look like we may have a wardrobe malfunction. Are those? Yeah, not sure what's going on there. But enough to pick up the first down. The Knights now inside the 20-yard line. I believe this is their first trip to the red zone so far today. We'll see if they can convert.
First time inside the 20, down to the 18. They got 2 receivers over to the left, 1 to the right. Harris back in there at running back.
And the whistle's going to blow it dead for the moment.
Looks like a timeout on the field. Taken by Frostburg. Bobcats want a little breather here defensively. They would like to pitch the shutout, I'm sure, today.
Yeah, that's a big motivation for the Knights as well. You love to see defensive timeouts taken. It means that you're moving things along enough. You're forcing the defense to slow things down and adjust. So that's really a good sign for the Knights. It also gives them an opportunity to take a breather, regroup, and set up what you're doing offensively. But I think the big thing is that shift to demonstrate that you're applying enough pressure that they feel like they need to take a time.
Well, we had Jason Lamb, athletic director, on at halftime. He was able to not only talk about all the fall sports going on, but do a little early preview of winter basketball and wrestling, and of course spring sports, lacrosse, baseball, women's softball.
Yeah, a lot going on. I'll tell you the thing I'm most excited about, Anders Jacobson back on the roster for Southern Virginia men's basketball, has the chance, I believe, to become the leading scorer all time for the Knights. That'll be fun to watch this season.
Yeah, phenomenal player, phenomenal shooter. Harris back in there at running back. Play action, pass play. They throw it over to the right side. The pass is pulled in by Howard, the tight end. He makes the grab and goes down close to the 13 of Frostburg.
Yeah, impressive play that time. Eric Howard, the tight end, pulling that one in, and then you could see leaning into the contact just to give you an extra yard or two as you go downfield.
Roughing the passer, the call goes against the Bobcats.
Well, you never like to see your passer roughed, but you do like the yards that come from it. Automatic first down. Now the Knights 1st and goal inside the 10.
Down close to just outside the 6-yard line. See if Southern Virginia can get its first score of the game today from about 6.5 yards away. Harris, the running back.
This crowd is ripe for it too. They're looking for it.
And Honeycutt wants
Outside.
to throw a man open over the head of the intended receiver. He was trying to hit Kessinger, and he had him out there in the flat, just overthrew him.
Yep, it's tough on that switchback as well. He had him relatively open, but you want to hit him in stride enough that he can turn upfield enough. Looks like there was just a little bit too far, a little bit of a misread on the distance.
Yeah, the defender was right there as well. So even if he makes that catch, I'm not sure if he is able to get upfield.
It's true. He'd definitely have to make a play after catching it.
2nd and goal now for the Knights, about 6 yards away. Got a blocking back in front of Harris. Movement.
Oh.
Let's see who draws this 5-yard penalty. Whether it's a legal procedure, and it looks like it will go against the Knights.
Between all the contact and the 3 flags.
So false start on the Knights. We'll bring the ball outside the 10, back around the 11. Still 2nd and goal.
Now moving on the offensive line that time. will back him up. That's a tough pill to swallow. Backs you back beyond the 10-yard line.
They'll send Burge out along with Kessinger to the left. And Nathan Wilson, the receiver, over to the right on 2nd and goal from the 11-yard line. Honeycutt pressured, throws to Harris in the flat, 10, 5, and he's down close to the 4, maybe the 3.
Yeah, that's what's frustrating about that too, though, is had you not gotten the penalty and the coverage was the same, that's a touchdown right there.
Good downfield blocking, too, by Hunter Miller, the freshman lineman.
Absolutely. Good to if you're against somebody smaller than you, faster than you, then you just try to lay out, kind of get in their way, slow them down a little bit. If they're bigger than you, then you try to move around and kind of punch them a little bit.
3rd and goal, 4 yards away from the end zone. Hopkins back in there as a running back. We've got a blocking back in front of him. Honeycutt, shotgun. Hands off to Hopkins. Stutter steps his way into the end zone for a touchdown.
Great job by Hopkins that time. He's riled up. The fans are excited. Good to see them put one in the barn that time, and the Knights close the gap a little bit.
Hopkins from Richmond, 5'7", 160-pound junior, scores for the first time today for the Knights to make it 28-6.
Yeah, it makes it the first touchdown scored here at home this season as well. Puts Dawson out there as a kicker for the Knights to tack on the extra point. Of course, Dawson, a longtime kicker in the NFL as well. Don't think it's the same guy, but
no, that would be Phil Dawson. This extra point try on the way.
And he's got it.
And it's now 28-7.
Phil Dawson, was it for the Giants?
Well, he kicked for the Browns.
Oh, did he?
But these days, you lose track of them once you leave, and they could kick for 3 or 4 teams.
That's true. Well, especially with kickers that they tend to have a longer lifespan in the NFL than a lot of other positions. Well, the Knights closing a bit, 28-7, not allowing the shutout by Frostburg, so they'll let Delane may have a nice day today, looking like he may pull off the win, but at least not getting the shutout. Can't have him have that good of a day.
Now you start thinking about, okay, do we try an onside kick if we really want to make a fourth quarter push, or we just kick it deep and see if we can stop them defensively here?
Yeah, I think you pin them deep at this point. It's still too early because it's not entirely likely that you recover the onside kick, and if you don't, then you give them great field position. The Knights have shown a propensity on defense to be able to create stops, and so they really want to be able to do that. You got to give your defense more room to make stops. And again, as we said, both teams showing some trickeration.
Dylan Dawson indeed kicks it deep over the head and into the end zone.
And looked like for a while there they were going to bring it out anyway. Josh Piper not exactly able to corral it cleanly, and I think finally decided to just kind of lay on it, call it a day.
So the Bobcats offense back onto the field with a 21-point lead here in the fourth quarter. Good chance to hear Art. First home football game to also tip your hat to Craig Reese, all his people.
Absolutely. Craig is the new Director of Athletics Broadcasting, running things very, very well this year. Thanks to him, he actually the mastermind between doing instant replay for us in addition to some other things. Great work.
Penalty call apparently will go against Frostburg on the kickoff.
Boy, that's not something you see often, is a late hit on the receiving team of a fair caught ball, or excuse me, of a touchback ball.
So we'll see where the Bobcats end up starting this drive from.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
What was the call? Dead ball foul?
Oh, unsportsmanlike on the Frostburg bench. Things getting a little unruly.
And they're actually going to start, it looks like, from their 6-yard line.
Yeah.
Beckford in there at quarterback. Takes the snap and will run it himself up the middle and gets up near the 10-yard line.
I'm pretty sure that graphic is incorrect there. It is not 1st and goal from their own 6-yard line. That would be rather daunting. It is 1st and 10 and just picked up a few on that one.
Clock becoming a factor with the Knights trailing here by 21 in the 4th quarter. It was 14-0 at halftime. Frostburg scoring twice, and then the Knights coming back with their first touchdown of the game. Hand off to Rashawn Johnson. He spins out of a couple of tackles before the Knights gang tackle him around the 17-yard line.
Yeah, Watterson able to get a hand on there. That was the only one I could see clearly, but certainly lots of Knights swarming to the ball. It's good to see that they can gang tackle when they get together, but again, it's those yards after contact that are really adding up.
Yeah, it looked like Burnett was there as well. One thing I have seen defensively for the Knights today, they got some pretty good linebackers.
Very true. So sub coming out on that one because there was a helmet that came off.
Yeah, I think that might have been Tristan Burnett losing his helmet. Linebacker. Ball at the 17-yard line.
I believe it's 3rd down and about 5. Apologize again for that graphic.
And back to pass goes Connor Cox. He's chased from the backside.
Oh.
Tries to get away, and he's finally knocked down to the turf from the backside by the Knights, who got him short of the 1st down marker.
Yeah, Stockton Hyde, I believe, continuing on the pursuit that time, not giving up on it. Had an opportunity to catch him earlier for a bit of a loss, unable to do so, but staying with him and able to eventually bring down Connor Cox on that, and that will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, the Knights defense has really played pretty well today.
They have, and especially as you mentioned, Frostburg State has been a pretty prolific offensive team so far this season, putting up 52 in their opener.
Kendall Kussinger back deep to return the kick.
Ooh, very close to blocked.
He won't return it.
It'll go out of bounds.
And so suddenly with 9:57 to go, the Knights have pretty good field position, down by 21 with the ball at their own 45-yard line.
Yeah, could be a big momentum shift. Again, the Knights getting the stop there after getting their first score of the game. We'll see if they can continue some of that offensive gusto that they had on the last drive.
You know, and if they can continue to pile up momentum, even if they can't make the comeback, Art, hopefully they can use that momentum for next week's game on the road at Salisbury.
Oh, absolutely. For the rest of the season. I mean, you have to remember the Knights, after the bye week last week and a very, very difficult loss at Rhodes, anything that's positive right now is really something to build on for the rest of the season. And so every 1st down, every touchdown contributes to that.
Honeycutt, the quarterback, fakes to Harris, the tailback, throws the bomb upfield, and overthrows his intended receiver, and it's intercepted by Frostburg, by Matt Capuzza. And there were a couple of receivers out there. Pearson was the deep receiver, but I think Lorenzen was also in the area as well.
Yeah, I got to say, big ups that time to John Harris, the running back in the backfield, standing tall against a much bigger defensive lineman going in to take out Honeycutt, throwing a big block for him. Unfortunately, not enough to stop the interception.
And the Knights down by 21. We're going for the home run ball. Instead, throw the interception, and now Frostburg has it back on offense.
Well, and again, the difficulty there is your defense is now back on the field. They just pulled a big stop looking for a break, and they've got to go right back out there and stop him again.
Bobcats just want to run the ball and run clock here, and they pick up 3 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, the Knights defense going right back to work, though. Good efforts that time. Scott Laxton and Joshua Davis teaming up for the stop in the backfield on Rashawn Johnson.
Short gain, 2nd down coming up. Pickup of maybe 3. Second down, 7 to go, 23-yard line. Handoff. Jordan Brown gets it. He is wrapped up and knocked down by Malore.
Sam Malore breaking
Loss of 3.
through. Great job getting penetration, following the play. You know, lots of defenders, when they come in on the backside like that, kind of put in a token effort at getting to the ball, thinking, well, the guy's running the opposite direction. There's guys out in front of him. I'll just, if he reverses his field, I'll be here. Not so with Malore. Malore able to keep up the pursuit hard from behind and actually chase him down and get that blown up in the backfield.
And the 3-yard loss makes it 3rd and 10. I'll tell you one thing, when it comes to Senior Day on the 14th of November, when the Knights host Christopher Newport, they're only going to have 2 seniors on the roster that I can see in Trevor Miller and Sam Malore.
Yeah, that's a sideline warning on Southern Virginia, by the way.
3rd and 10 for the Bobcats. Knights showing blitz. Cox to throw. Fires, hits his receiver. And he went backwards and then scrambles for the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an awareness breakdown that time. You could see, if you look back at that play, we'll get a replay for you here in just a second.
Thomas Moore, the receiver.
Yeah, and you need to guard a person, not guard space. So if you watch on the right-hand side here, just in the flat, you've got 2 men covering the middle there and nobody actually putting a body on that quick pass for Moore. Like to see the Knights roll up in coverage a little bit. If there's nobody there exposed, you've got to get over and cover the man.
And Moore was able to just get enough.
Ooh.
And Malore wraps up the ball carrier for another hard hit.
Yeah, Sam Malore, again, he takes every play personally. Everything that goes by him, he feels like is his responsibility to stop. And that's why I said he may not get the tackle on every play, but boy, he has an impact. And in that case, did exactly what he needed to. The ball's going by him. He gets off his blocker and just puts 2 hands on the guy and brings him to the ground.
Second down, no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Bobcats here in the 4th quarter. 28-7, Frostburg on top. Cox wants to throw. Fires, hits his receiver. Knights all over that one, but still able to get a couple of yards upfield was Burgess.
Yards after catch, Jim. Yards after catch. And yards after contact as well.
Because it looked like the Knights had that well guarded, but after the catch was made, at least 4 or 5 yards on the positive yardage for the Bobcats, who are now looking at a 3rd down at about 2.
There was some penetration as well into the backfield that looked like once they got there, they weren't sure what to do.
Knights coming on the blitz. They hand it off to the ball carrier, and he's got a 1st down. That is the running back Brown, and he's finally shoved out of bounds. Knights able to make the tackle. That was Watterson again on the tackle, but not until the Frostburg running back had picked up another Bobcat 1st down.
That's the danger of the blitz. A lot of people say, yeah, you get pressure on the quarterback, you get pressure in the backfield. Why don't you blitz every time? Well, that's exactly why, because if you blitz and you don't create a sack or you don't blow up the play in the backfield, as soon as they get by you, there's fewer defenders downfield, and it creates a larger gain for them.
So the Bobcats have a 1st down at the SVU 49-yard line.
Oh.
Blitz coming. Cox fires the Wood. Wood makes the catch, double teamed and knocked down. Initial hit by Barris, and then added to that was Bear. So good downfield coverage by the Knights. So Antonio Wood, a tremendous athlete here, Art. We've seen it all day long. He's been the main go-to guy as far as the Cox and the other quarterbacks have been concerned.
Yeah, you see Braxton Hale, number 41, going completely unblocked and going in and getting contact on the quarterback, which forces him to unload that, I think, more quickly than he would have liked, possibly saving an even longer throw.
And so it's 2nd down, about 4 to go.
Designed run.
And Bickford goes up to around the 41, maybe picked up 2 or 3 on the carry.
Yeah, good job that time. That's Braxton Hale again and Dimitri Gomez, I believe, connecting on that one.
Short gain that time. Cox back in at quarterback. And the Bobcats are looking at 3rd down, about 2 to go at the 41 of the Knights.
Well, the Knights have shown capability to make stop in short, important situations here. This 3rd and 2 is another big one. 3 scores is a lot to be down with 9:30 left. If they can get a stop here It would be huge, and they do.
They knocked down Lovat. No gain to the 41-yard line.
Big stop that time. William Mackay, I think.
4th and short. And we'll see if the Bobcats go for it here on 4th and 2.
It's looking like they're going to go for it on 4th and 3 here.
Ball outside the 41, have to get to around the 39.
Of course, last time it looked like they were going for it and it became a quick kick. That's out of a shotgun, though, not the case here out of the I formation.
And it looks like they'll hand it off to Lovat, right side. He's got the first down and more. And he gets away momentarily. Good open field tackle momentarily by the defensive back for the Knights. Lovat breaks that tackle and goes for a couple more yards after he broke the initial hit by Christopher Owens.
Yeah, that's a good effort, though. Owens, again, 5'9", 165, going up against a
205 pounds.
Yeah, 6 foot 205 guy. He's got 40 pounds on you and a head of steam.
And he's got 2 touchdowns today as well, Lovat does.
Yeah, so that was a good job by Owens to break him down, have help come. Looked like it was a good tackle. Didn't quite get him to the ground, but stopped him enough that let help come.
First down, Frostburg, 29-yard line. Lovat again.
Ooh.
And he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and thrown backwards. Malore again there.
Who else but Sam Malore? That time, Deaton Wilson helping out.
You got the whole 2015 season before you got to worry about this, but I'm sure the coaches are wondering, how do we replace a guy eventually like Sam Malore?
Oh, well, they ran into the same situation last year with a lot of the defense.
Yep.
Keaton Epps comes to mind.
Matt Gregory?
Yeah, absolutely. Had some major contributions, but you're right. Malore will be very difficult to replace as an anchor of this defense.
29-yard line, 2nd and 10. Cox throws over the middle, got his receiver at the 10-yard line, and it's a touchdown for Frostburg as he hits Bonzel to make it 34-7. And Bonzel just simply got a step on the receiver, cutting across the middle.
Yeah, the front seven.
Or defender.
Front seven of the Knights have really held strong. The secondary struggled a little bit more today. And that's another example of that, unfortunately.
Extra point try by Robinson. Not too much time left here in the 4th quarter, and the Knights now trail by 27. And the extra point try makes Frostburg's lead now 28 points at 35-7.
Well, the Knights another opportunity on offense now. We'll have to see if they can put something together, close out this game. Again, anything offensive, any kind of victory they can have there, they'll be excited with. They can use as momentum going into the next game and the rest of the season now. Perhaps a little too late to be talking comeback, but that does not mean there's not still a lot to play for.
And to recap this one, Art, it was Frostburg having a lot of opportunities in the first half and only going in with a 14-point lead at halftime, 14-0. But then they came out in the 3rd quarter, scored an offensive touchdown, a defensive touchdown, and quickly jumped on top 28-0. The Knights were able to finally score their first touchdown of the game to make it 28-7, but now Frostburg has come back to make it 35-7.
That's true. You got to remember at the same time, Rhodes last week was up 44-0 at the half on Southern Virginia. So 35-7 comparatively now, that's not a terrible margin.
2:52 to go here in the 4th. And if the Knights can get some quick strikes, maybe some big plays, they've got time, maybe one more touchdown drive to try to score their 2nd touchdown of the game.
It's true. Quick strikes have not been the offense's strong suit so far today. A couple of passes downfield they've really tried have ended in interceptions, but a good return could start things off. And that's a big hit coming in to stop the return at the 15-yard line.
Harris on the return, and yeah, he had a debate maybe around the 1-yard line whether he wanted to let that hit and go into the end zone or take it out, and he grabbed it and ran it out.
Yeah, well, we talked earlier a little bit about desperation, about feeling like you've got to make a touchdown on every play. That might be setting in just a little bit there. Draquan Reed stepping up, though, for the Bobcats to put an end to that return.
Now, we've seen some good runs today from all 3 backs, Harris, Hopkins, who got the only touchdown for the Knights, and of course also Jared Watts. And right now Harris is in there at running back. 1st and 10. 15-yard line.
Recovered well.
Harris maybe picks up 3 on the carry. Called a gain of just about 2.5. The ball is just shy of the 18-yard line for the Knights. Ball is near the 18-yard line. 2nd down, 7 to go. Honeycutt hands it off to Harris. Nope, play action. Wants to throw up the right side. Overthrows his intended target, Burge.
Yeah, it goes a little bit wide on that one. We do have a status update, by the way, on Crosby Jensen. Does appear to be a concussion for him. Appears to be up and around a bit, though. Doing a bit better, but obviously will not see him return in the game.
He was injured in the 3rd quarter. Played a lot of quarterback in the 2nd period and the 3rd before knocked out of the game with that injury. Honeycutt was the quarterback in the 1st quarter, and he's handling the team here in the 4th period. 3rd and almost 10 to go. Ball 17-yard line. Under 2 minutes to go in the game now. Honeycutt shotgun, wants to throw left side, has his receiver, and a couple of Bobcat defenders have him.
Yeah. Once again, the Frostburg Bobcats have just been living in the backfield so far tonight. I'm concerned going into the rest of this season. The Knights have got to find a way to keep those blocking assignments, to give some more protection to the quarterback, as well as to let plays develop for the running backs. Anything coming out of the backfield is just being stricken very, very quickly. If the Frostburg defense is in any way similar to what we're going to see the rest of this season, the Knights are really going to have to find a way to provide more time for their offense.
Yeah, you saw Michael Carroll there, the one who made the reception. He had some big games in 2014. Tough going so far here against Frostburg, though. Short punt, fielded by Frostburg. They bring it back to the 30, back to the 20-yard line. This may go down to the 15-yard line to the 10, and all the way in for a score goes Andino. Sergio Andino on a punt return.
Yeah, reversing his field on that one a couple times. Had a lot of blockers going out for him. That's just a difficult thing to see as the offense sputters a little bit, unable to convert on the 1st down, end up going 4th and 11, and then punt it away only to have it returned for a touchdown. That's difficult.
And we've seen some booming punts by the Knights today, but that one was relatively short, and it gave the return man Andino a chance to run up on it, grab it, and really get a head of steam going.
Well, you're right, Jim. Some of the punts have been good today, but the downfield coverage on the returns has struggled just about all game. That's something the Knights can take away to work on as well. And
Robinson's extra point try is good. It's now 42-7 for Frostburg with just 55 seconds left. I want to remind folks that we've got more sports coming up next week, Tuesday. Women's soccer as the women take on Averett. I believe that'll be 7 o'clock on Tuesday. Then Wednesday at 6 p.m., men's soccer against Bridgewater. And then Thursday, Art and you, Mike, have women's volleyball Thursday night, 7 p.m.
Yeah, a lot of home contests this week. It'll be fun to see soccer at home. We've had several broadcasts with them. How's your introduction to soccer been this year, Jim?
Hanging in there, just like lacrosse back in the spring.
Yep, it's fun to learn some new sports, get acquainted with things. It's amazing how different the individual sports all played on the same field can be that way.
One thing's for sure, Mike Harmon, you can carry you.
It's true, Mike can carry us on broadcast. He's carried a lot of different burdens, a lot of different weights here at Southern Virginia over the years. Whether it's broadcast, whether it's cleaning the gym floor, no matter what it is, he's what you call a utility guy. He does a little bit of everything for us.
If it was a baseball player, he played third, second, short, first, catcher.
He's got softball in the blood for his daughters as well. That's certainly a sport he's familiar with. Baseball,
yeah, she
and
won
softball.
the high school championship with Perry McClure, of course, last spring. Harris will not return this one. It'll go back to the end zone.
So time for one last drive. The Knights decide to take a shot at it.
And Frostburg's kind of pulled away here at the end. It doesn't feel like a 42-7 game. You know, again, it was only 14-0 at halftime, and the Knights scored to make it 28-7 with about 10, 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And a couple scores here by Frostburg, one by their offense, one by special teams, and suddenly it's a 35-point game.
Yeah, some very positive takeaways for the Knights, though. They had some huge defensive stands, as we mentioned, in the first half. The kicking game all around has been better. They do, of course, need to clean up a little bit on the punt coverage, and the offense able to get one down and converts good as well.
Honeycap with a high snap gets it over to Watts, and Watts goes to the 28-yard line. Well, we've seen good runs today by Watts at times, also by John Harris, and, of course, the touchdown run by Lakeith Hopkins.
Yeah, so definitely some positive elements to build on going into next week. I know it was difficult to lose to Rhodes and then to have that bye week, because when you have a loss like that, you don't want to have an extra week to think about it. You want to make changes and get back after it, and so it was tough to go from there to here, but I think the Knights definitely have some quality elements to build off of, as well as some things to work on.
One more handoff, and it'll go to Watts, and he is nailed. And that should perhaps be the ball game. Of course, Rhodes, that was a last-minute pickup, I understand, obviously, for the season opener. It was supposed to be originally a home game for the Knights to open up the season, and they were forced to go ahead and make that a road game at Rhodes, and that's going to wrap things up. It looks like the clock has run out here from the fields at Southern Virginia University. Tough home opener, Art, but Frostburg in control from the beginning, jumping on top, leading at halftime 14-0, and going on for the 42-7 victory today.
Yep, a difficult team. You can see right there in the middle of your screen now on the left-hand side. Hugs all around. These are two programs that are still good friends, particularly since we've got former players on their coaching staff, former coaches now that have moved on to their coaching staff. If you have to lose to a team, you gotta like losing to a team that you've got friends on, and you can see right down there, Coach Delane Fitzgerald, head coach of Frostburg State, former Southern Virginia coach, going hugs all around as well. So.
And his team improves to 2-1 on the season. Frostburg now 2-1, and the Knights are 0-2 with, again, games on the road the next two Saturdays at Salisbury next Saturday 1 o'clock, and 2 weeks from today they'll be playing at Wesley before they come back for the homecoming game October the 10th against Montclair State.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. The homecoming preparation's already going. For anyone thinking about coming out, love to see you. There's going to be a lot going on up here at the fields.
That whole weekend, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and the whole week for that matter. So it should be a lot of fun. Hope to see a lot of folks out at that one.
So that will wrap things up here from the fields at Southern Virginia University. Big day for Frostburg. They come to Buena Vista and knock off Southern Virginia. Your final score again in the Knights home opener for this 2015 football season. It was Frostburg 42 and Southern Virginia University 7. A reminder, we'll have women's soccer coming up Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Men's soccer Wednesday, 6 p.m. And women's volleyball Thursday night as well, Thursday, 7 o'clock. So join us in just a few days for all those SVU sporting events. Final score again, Frostburg 42 and Southern Virginia 7. For Art Furler and all the crew, I'm Jim Bresnahan. Thanks again for joining us today.